On today's episode of T3 Connects, we have the owner for Go New Meta, Dave Gibbens, where we talk about how he started, where he wants to go, and what he collects. So enjoy this episode and make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and order from gonewmeta.com. Use the discount code T3Collects101 for 10% off. Anything over $100 is free shipping. And, welcome to the episode. Hi, welcome to T3 Connects this is the Go New Meta owner, David, and we're going to sit down and have a conversation about Go New Meta and why he got into this, action figure space, but an online store. So that is going to be question number one. What made you get into opening your own online shop?
Yeah. So it's a great question. I started collecting really around COVID was when I really got into collecting. So I think it's important to know that I picked it up then and I started getting a lot of stuff really fast. And so at a certain point, my wife was getting a little irritated with how much space I was taking up. But that was like my COVID hobby, right? And I went all in because I'm like 100% or 0% anything I do. So I'm like, once I had, I started with the MCU stuff and I had to get all of it, of course. And so it took up a lot of space. And so I got to a point where I needed to start getting rid of stuff, which was tough, but not too tough. So I started buying the rule of two, buying one of each. So buy one to keep, buy one to sell, or, if it maybe went up in value, because I started noticing the values on eBay were going up and down. Right. So I started, trying to find those grails that would be worth $200 in a year. And I kept them all in a box. So I had this huge box in my storage room, just full of all these figures I thought could be really valuable someday. And I just kept amassing that. And I kept selling stuff randomly on eBay that I didn't want. If I was doing a Build-A-Figure, I'd sell off the ones I didn't want for a few bucks on eBay. So I had a store going on eBay for a while. It actually did relatively well as a little side hustle. And then January hit last year. I should mention I've been an operations consultant for small tech companies for about 6 or 7 years up to this point. And so I was doing that, kind of running my own business for a bit doing that. Didn't love it, never really loved it. Just, that was my skill set, so I went with it. And in January, I decided, I'm like, what, we moved to a new house. I need to get rid of that big box of crap. All those figures, I think it's done. Let's sell it all off, and let's sell my MCU figures too. So I started listing all that on eBay, and man, it was selling like crazy. So all new in box. I'd only ever done loose when I sold on eBay. So this is all new in box stuff, and it was just madness. And so I kind of got to a point where I made 10, 15K in a couple weeks. And I was like, wow, hang on a second. maybe there's something here. And so I kind of started doing some research, and I follow a lot of other retail stores, and Nerdzoic. Followed Nerdzoic for a long time, and I actually talked to Matt a couple of times about his store. But anyways, I just kind of started, spitballing ideas to my wife and got her on board with it, because I was like, you know what, I'm old enough now, I've done enough that I think it's time for me to focus on doing something I want to do. And I'm like, this is what I want to do. So I, made a pitch, got a loan, which took a lot of time and effort to do that, because I had to convince the bank that selling toys was going to be a good thing for them, right? Right. And then, I got it started from there. So it's kind of been trial and error, and just, making connections and really been focusing on building a social presence has been my biggest thing as far as building that channel up, because I know a lot of retailers don't give that as much time and effort as I do. So anyways, that's a long story to where I'm at now. And that's how I got into it.
Okay. So how did you come up with the name New Meta?
Well, So I'm a gamer, and I'll play a lot of video games. I'll actually not tonight because I got packaging to do. But most evenings, I'll play games for a while, and I'm big into like competitive shooters and anything like competitive online gaming. And there's a term that gets thrown around, new like what the meta is. So it's like what's the best composition for a team or the best loadout for your character. It's considered the meta, like most optimized. I'm sure you might know that. And so, but people throw around that term. Like my friends would always say, like we played Overwatch a lot. Hey, the new meta is to run like Reinhardt with so and so, and so anyways, I thought it was kind of a fun term, just like to always be like ahead, like be ahead of your competition, like use the newest meta, don't use the old meta, and so I used that because it meant something to me. Didn't really think too much into it at the time. I also just kind of thought it sounded snappy and like more tech forward. It's kind of the jargony thing you hear from all the bullshit we used to say. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of how it came to be. Yeah, where new meta came from. But I like it. It's stuck. I think people have enjoyed it too.
Yeah, it's different. It's different from like Nerdzoic and any of the small retailers that have like a toy-ish, I guess, name. Because Nerdzoic, that's like the first thing I think of. If I never knew what he did, I'd be like, oh, nerd has something to do with probably toys or gaming or whatever. Then
the geekery or
the
toy box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I tried. I was intentional and not leaning too hard into that. I wanted to keep something that was a little bit like broad because I do have plans long term to like get into. So like probably by I'd say early next year I want to get more into like board games and tabletop stuff as well as like card games and things like that. So I didn't want to lean too heavily into like kind of the nerd toy collector jargon in case I like wanted to make sure I leveraged this for stuff like that, and kind of use this more as like an umbrella for like a larger inventory, or I say more diverse inventory. It's probably the better term there.
Yeah, that makes sense. So your wife's on board, and what does she think of the idea when you brought it to her initially? Did she think you were crazy?
Hated it. Yeah. She'll get mad. She'll probably watch this at some point and be like, don't paint me as the person that was like against this. She wasn't against it. She was very skeptical. So she's a director for her company, very analytical. And, for her, it's like it has to make sense. And so we were both kind of looking at it through like very analytical, like intense lenses. But for her though, the bigger issue is not that it could work. She's like, I believe that you can do it. And I believe that like it can work. Like the numbers are there. It makes sense. There's a market for this, obviously. She doesn't understand that market at all. She doesn't get collecting in any way. She's like, I just don't understand why you need to have them. They're like in a tub. There are tubs back there. Like, yeah. Anyways, but her biggest thing was just space. So she's like, how much space is this going to take up? And I'm like, all of it. I'm like, all the space, which hasn't been that bad. But yeah, I take up like all of this office downstairs, the storage room across the hall from me behind that door right there. And then part of the hallway right now is boxes because I'm getting ready to take stuff out to get delivered. So at some point I'll need to get into space because I promised her like we would not turn the basement into a giant like toy storage area.
Right.
So probably like January, February, I'll move it into I've already looked at a couple different warehouses and like retail storefronts and all that. But that was the only piece for her that was like the bigger deal. Like right now there's like 20 boxes in her garage and that's stressing her out. Just sitting right in the middle, like walk around to get our kids out to their games and all that. So anyways, yeah, that was her thought.
So when did you actually start the online part of it? Because you already had this like formulated, and then when did you actually go live?
I can give like the month that we went live. It's kind of rough because it was like we were putting the wheels on the bus as we were trying to drive it. I say we like it was anybody besides me. So really, I'd say like early April was when we like kind of officially launched things. And it's been good. Like we doubled like the first 3 months, we doubled every month what we were doing and orders and revenue and all that. So, but that was when we got started. Yeah, it was early April. But I've been spitballing this idea since January. So January to April was all just build up and like getting the pieces in place and getting the loan secured and all that stuff.
So you've been online for 6 months, basically.
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah. So in that 6 months, what's out of everything that you carry currently online, what is your biggest selling, like, I guess, line?
Oh, I mean, easily Marvel Legends. And that'll probably always be true. Because it's the most prolific collector line. I don't know if anybody's really going to debate that too much, right? They do the most. I will say I was very pessimistic on carrying McFarlane stuff, but McFarlane over the past 4 or 5 months has been killing it. So they're not far off from my Marvel Legends sales. And then it's unique. Each line you can kind of see the differences in how people buy as far as like the collector types, like Transformers people versus like Marvel Legends versus the others. But like with McFarlane people though, any pre-order that's released recently, any recent pre-order I should say, I sell out of those quicker than I sell out of any of the Marvel Legends ones. And I don't know if that's like the McFarlane DC thing, like people are, ready for that. They see the writing on the wall and they just want to get all that they can. But pretty much every McFarlane release is sold out for me. But Hasbro, I think there's a lot more people that wait till it comes in stock because Hasbro's always Marvel Legends will always be in stock at some point.
Right.
So, but with McFarlane, I think there's a little bit more of like FOMO for people because you will miss out on McFarlane stuff more often than you will Marvel Legends. But anyways, roundabout way of saying Marvel Legends is easily number one still.
Yeah, I was going to say the McFarlane stuff. I know like Matt Nerzoic was hesitant on having McFarlane. At one point, he stopped carrying them, and then he brought it back because people wanted it. I think because now we know that he only has it for another year, the license, that he's literally pumping out so much because he has to. Supply and demand, right? So everyone wants all these characters, pumping out so much, and he has to get out as many characters as he can before he's done. And I've noticed, because I honestly do retail shopping as a toy hunter, I noticed the McFarlane stuff at like a Target and Walmart sell out a lot faster than it used to because one that got announced and Mattel's taken over, I started seeing gold labels that sat at Target sell out, and I was like, this is nuts. Because they're all obscure characters. So, I mean, most of them go to clearance. Like, I've bought them on clearance, and then I turn around to like see what they look like on eBay. I'm like, how the heck are these selling for like $70? And they're just sitting at Target on clearance for $7.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the Commando Penguins. I've been hearing like absurd prices on those on the secondary market right now. Yeah, that's. Do you collect much McFarlane personally?
Yes and no. I am very selective of what I'm collecting, just because like I got into that FOMO stage with McFarlane. I was just like, oh, I got to buy everything, but then I was like, I don't even have these characters. I've always read Marvel comics, so I know the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't know DC, but I just cater more to Marvel. All the Batmans that he does, like I'm like, I don't even know half the Batmans and these comic storylines. So I literally just actually picked this up, but they'll have a review out in a couple of days. I just got this.
Oh, you got it!
Yeah,
awesome. Oh man,
so I just got.
I got emails about that one constantly. People are like, "Are you going to carry this? Are you going to carry this?" I'm like, "Man, I wish," because I bet it's going to go. The whole Batman Returns wave went crazy for me. People bought that up.
I remember when that went up live, and I had them in my cart, and I went back because I was at work, and they're all gone. I was like, "Damn, fast."
Yeah, I think the FOMO thing is real for all the McFarlane stuff. I mean, it just, the stuff just looks better right now. Like they're doing a better job. The figures are more appealing. I mean, when I actually want something from McFarlane like badly, like there's been a couple like the Page Puncher Joker, which I actually just got into with like that nice cloth goods coat and all that. Right. Like, man, that's the stuff I want to see. So yeah, I think they're doing a great job right now. It's unfortunate because I'm not sure how Mattel's going to handle this ball, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's the big question mark, really. I know when this got announced, everyone was kind of freaking out. They're like, "Oh, they already had the license; it wasn't that good." But since they haven't had it, and McFarlane's had it for 3 years, I think going on 4, Mattel, I feel like, has gotten better because of their WWE stuff. Their photo print is actually hit and miss still, but I feel like they've gotten a lot better since Mattel lost DC. So I'm hoping it'll be better, but everyone's so stuck on 7-inch McFarlane stuff. It's like now the new stuff is not going to fit in the collection. For me, I don't care. Like, I got the McFarlane stuff I want, and I'm pretty much good, and I don't need to collect the Mattel stuff until they come out with something that McFarlane maybe never did. Then I'm like, oh, now I'm stuck.
Yeah. Pull you back in.
Yeah. I can already see it happening.
Yeah. Everybody's going to be in the same situation. It's going to be like, we're all standing firm, and then, that first, like, sweet Build-A-Figure wave that they do or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm wondering if their first wave is going to have, like, the core characters, or they're just going to mix them up. Like, not have a Batman right away, have a Superman, and then a Batman in, like, a wave 2, whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but I'm wondering if that's going to happen. And I'm wondering if the first wave's going to sell out because it's technically new again.
Yeah. Who knows? It's going to be a very interesting whenever that, when it officially does happen, which isn't still, I mean, I just put in a massive McFarlane order for all this stuff coming in like next year. So we still have quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
But who knows what'll happen when that occurs. I give Mattel a lot of crap, but they actually do. I mean, they do a good job with what they have. Like the Masterverse stuff sells really well for me. I like that stuff. It's good looking stuff. WWE stuff's the same. I don't carry as much as that stuff, but I mean they do well, or they do a good job with the IPs that they have. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean Mattel, given they own He-Man or the Masters of the Universe, so I felt like they kind of have to do better on that. And I just seen like some of the new Masterverse in my Walmart, and I was actually kind of blown away. I was like, dude, these have just gotten better and better over the years that they've had it. I started collecting Masterverse, and then I just stopped. I was like, okay, I can't get into another thing. Like, I grew up in He-Man, and I wanted to collect them all, but I was like, nope, can't do this. Like, I am a hardcore Marvel Legends, like, first collector. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of people that way. Like, as for you, is Marvel Legends your number one go-to first thing you collect?
Yes, and it's funny. I think some Marvel Legends collectors, because I've diversified my collection a lot since I started the store, which makes sense. I see everything now, so it's like, oh yeah, I'll try out Jada Toys, and I'll try out. I've gotten into Four Horsemen quite a bit, but Marvel Legends is always number one. That's my comfort food, right at the end of the day. But it's like funny how nowadays, like, I buy Marvel Legends almost by default. Like, I don't even, whether I'm excited about the figure or not, it's like, well, yeah, I have to have the bigger Juggernaut. I've got to have the Gamerverse stuff. But I do find myself getting pulled to new lines that I'm like, really, like, I am, if you hear me talk on like Strong Collectors podcast, I always pump up Jada Toys. I think Jada Toys are awesome. All the stuff they're doing right now is just amazing. So, like, I've got my son, actually, I push collections to him so I can vicariously collect through him. So he's got every Street Fighter in his room. He's got the Masterverse stuff, and he does the G.I. Joes. The 3 lines that I don't really want to collect, but I wouldn't mind, like, having around. So I push those to him. But for me, it's Marvel Legends. My number 2 right now is probably Mythic Legions. So I'm really big into the Four Horsemen stuff right now. Love that. Little pricey, so it's like not as you can't just spend at late night on eBay buying up all those ones that you used to want, because that's like what used to be,
Yeah.
with Marvel Legends, you're spending like $50 by the end of the night. With Mythic Legions, it's like maybe like $200. Like it's
easy.
It's an expensive line, but I love those figures. That's number 2 for me for sure. And then I just have random stuff from all different types. So I've been kind of testing different things out just to see, if I like it. Like these, I got the Jaded Toys Cyberpunk ones, and these are awesome. I'm like huge fan of these. But yeah, all in all, Marvel Legends always been number 1. A comic, by the way. I got rid of all the MCU stuff. I don't really care for the MCU stuff anymore, and I know none of us really do. So
yeah, there's a lot of people that don't. I still do. I'm like, I don't know. You can tell me because you own this online store. The Fantastic Four Marvel Legends, the movie wave, was and has been one of the hardest movie waves that I've had struggling to find. Couldn't find, like, I would find, say, like, not a full wave, and then I would find almost a full wave, and then I would find 1 or 2. I literally had to buy them one at a time because I couldn't find them. So with you owning the store online, did those sell out pretty fast?
Yes. I did not buy enough. I completely underestimated how popular those were going to be. So I had to up my order down the line. But yeah, those were crazy. Those were, the only ones that stayed in stock for me were, and it wasn't that long, were the Flame Off Johnny Storm. So regular Johnny Storm was the only one. And both the Johnny Storm figures lasted longer than the rest, but they were gone so quick. Thing and Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman, all 3 of those, I never had in stock, I don't think. Because they all sold out. But I underbought on those. And I don't want to harp on MCU too much. And the MCU figures is what got me into collecting. But they've just been so hit or miss. And with that one, it was crazy. But then again, you look at the Thunderbolts. I mean, it's like Walmart can't give away Thunderbolts figures right now. Which is funny because that was an awesome movie. And so I don't know how that all works out. But those ones did really well for me. I mean, they're gone, right? So that's, I think, the indicator. And I didn't have to discount them at any point. So that was good.
Yeah, because I would see them randomly at Target. Like, there was one time I walked in and the full wave was on there, except for the Thing. I'm like, oh, damn, someone bought the Thing. So I just was like, oh, I don't have Mr. Fantastic. I need to buy him. Bought him, went back. The same day at night, the Thing was out. I was like, oh, so they couldn't fit all on one peg. So so I bought the Thing. So I had those 2. I had Silver Surfer. I had both Johnny Storm. No, I had Flame On, and I couldn't find Invisible Woman, and I couldn't find regular Johnny Storm. Finally found Johnny Storm, and then Sue was the last one that it took me forever to find. I almost paid the $30 at GameStop. But luckily, I held out and got lucky and found it at Walmart. I was like, yeah, $30 is crazy.
When I got the call on those figures way back in the day, because it was a while ago when I ordered those, like before the movie came out. And when they told me that wave was coming out, they said it was going to be a Build-A-Figure wave, and it was going to be the Herbie Build-A-Figure, and that one of the figures was actually going to be Franklin Richards. And so it was completely different than like when they actually ended up spinning out to us. Because I was thinking, oh, cool. I'm like, we'll get a Franklin. I'm thinking like a young Franklin Richards figure. Maybe that'll be like, part of like Sue Storm's package, and then we'll get the Herbie Build-A-Figure. So yeah, we were told something different than what ended up coming, but regardless, it still did well.
Yeah, I don't know if people would have cared for a Herbie. That's probably why maybe they didn't do it. Who knows? I mean, I want a Herbie now. So just
take it.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
I mean, I have the comic, the Walgreens exclusive Sue Storm, that comes with a Herbie. So I literally could just use that one. I don't really need a movie accurate one.
Yeah.
So besides that, so we got Mythic Legions. I know that is new. newish, right, to the
For my
store?
store, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we've had it for about, I mean, since the Heinz Small Wave went, probably about 2 months now.
And then is there a special way like you have to get those, or how does that work?
So, like, how I got them? Is
Yeah,
what you're asking?
so because I know it's like you can't get them everywhere. I don't know how like that works with them.
Yeah. Man, they're definitely a trickier one to come across because you're not going to find them in the wild, right?
No.
Unless you have that random like local like comic toy shop that happens to be one of like the handful of places that carry them, which is not likely. But so they prefer brick and mortar to online. They do have a lot of online people that sell their stuff, but they've kind of slowed that down. So I kind of had to hard sell their sales director on like letting me carry their stuff, and got on a call with them, probably overpromised a bit. I'm like, man, I'll do whatever it takes because I want to carry this line. I believe in the line. I think it's awesome. I think more people need to know about it. But yeah, they're not everywhere, and they're Four Horsemen. It's not like they do really well, and the the product kind of sells itself. So you don't see them. They don't want to have every retailer. They don't want every online store calling them up and selling this stuff. They really want like a strong loyal base of retailers.
Mhm.
And so I kind of had to position myself and make sure that like they saw that like I want to be that and be a part of the team. And so it's worked out well. But yeah, they're not. You'll find them on Big Bad Toy Store. I actually buy quite a bit of their stuff on Big Bad Toy Store or directly from them. But they do really interesting pre-order windows, and they're one of the figures too because they're like an indie, and you get this with a lot of the indie groups where it's like you're buying something that you're probably not seeing. I mean, until like next year, like it'll be like
Right.
buying something now to get in Q4. It's not like Marvel Legends where it's like maybe a month or a couple months out.
Hmm.
So it's a little bit different, and it's not. I don't think everybody loves that. But by the time that they come in stock, virtually all of it's sold out. So it's really hard to get any of their stuff if you're kind of a passive observer. You have to be pretty active to get through things. So that's why most of their fan base is just very rabid, like loyal customers. They actually have Legions Con coming up. I think it's in like New Jersey, the beginning
Hmm.
of November, and so
Yep.
they do a lot of stuff like that to kind of get out there. But yeah, I'll be carrying. So Dakota actually helped me out, and working with the guy who runs their Legions Con. They do a lot of exclusive figures for those.
Okay.
The exact same idea as like San Diego Comic Con, right? They've got the exclusives.
Hmm.
You can only get them there. Well, they're going to sell a lot of the extras from last Legions Con to me. So I'll start
Okay.
carrying those, and then upcoming Legions Cons can't get the S's right there. Ideally, I'll be able to carry some of that stuff too, and so
Oh, nice.
hopefully, I'm just getting kind of weaseling my way in more and more to carry as much Four Horsemen as I can because again, I want more people to start collecting that stuff. It's so cool. But anyways, that's kind of my TED talk on that whole thing.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I only know of Mythic Legions because I remember seeing I think it's probably the first few waves, and all I remember is like, oh, these look like He-Man. And then someone would tell me like the sculptors or whatever were the guys who made Masters of the Universe classics, and I was like, wait,
Mhm.
what? So that's kind of I was like, oh, okay, because I was like, oh, these are knockoffs. That's what I thought they were at first, and then everyone explained to me, I was like, oh, okay. It just it's not my thing, but I literally have seen them at Comic Con at different places. I think they're very, very well done. They look beautiful as just a figure in general. Like if you didn't play with it, you could just have it. They look great. It's just not my thing. But I say that, and if I was to buy one or have one given to me, that may change because
Yeah, yeah.
that as a collector,
Opens
anything can change.
the
Yeah,
black hole opens up and such. That's how I was, and so I think it's that shelf right here behind me.
I can. Yep.
That's all the Mythic Legions right there. I have more, but I've got just like a certain group from their line out, and then I've got a couple by my table right now. So again, just really cool like
Yeah, they're
knights
so
and stuff like
nice.
that. I would have never wanted this, honestly. Like I'm not big into like I didn't want a knight or anything, but when you get it in your hand, I'm like, man, this is just the articulation, the details, the cloth goods. It's just they're fun. Yeah, don't get into it unless you are ready to like spend
Yeah,
a lot of money. Be so
that's the thing. I see the prices. I'm like, okay, so that means I have to give up something I already collect, which would be
Yeah.
probably okay. But then again, I collect. I wouldn't say a lot. Like I literally have, like I said, I have literally tapered down DC Multiverse because my goal was just to build from when I was a kid the 7-inch version of the superpowers, basically. So I was trying to find the right Superman for the longest time because he doesn't suit Superman very well. And then finally they came out with the digital one that came out. So that one to me is it's the DC Classics. Is that what they call it? Silver Age? I can't remember. Superman. So to me, that one is the definitive Superman for me. So I don't need another Superman.
This one?
No.
No.
That's the Ed McGuinness one. No, it's literally the classic version of Superman.
Oh yeah, classic Superman.
Yeah, and it was like I never saw that ever here. I had a friend that actually was like, "Hey, I found it." I'm like, "I'll pay you right now for it," because I couldn't find it. So yeah, I got it that way. I got the classic Dr. Fate, and literally the only thing I'm really missing to have my, I guess, Justice League is the Platinum Edition Hawkman from the Collector's Edition. And that, because it's painted the way I remember when he was a superpower.
That up. Nice. Yeah, I was doing the same thing. Yeah, that is a really good one.
Yeah, and it's
never seen that one out in a while. I was doing the same thing, and I had my Justice League built, and that was also when I hit January, one of the victims of like my figure purge. Like I sold off all my Mortal Kombat, McFarlane stuff. I had a massive. I'm a huge Alien vs Predator fan. Like Aliens, Predators, Aliens vs Predators 2. I had tons of Aliens and Predators, and I sold all those except for like one of each. I kept like my definitive Alien, my definitive Predator. But yeah, there was a lot of victims to the Great Purge of January. And now I'm sitting here like with more figures than I've ever had, and I'm like, man, I don't know why'd I get rid of all this.
I guess that's the hard part of having your own, online store, because you get to see pretty much anything and everything pretty quick.
Yeah, what's tough though is sometimes I'll go to the store and I'll see something, because at the end of the day, like Walmart and Target will always get stuff quicker than me, for the most part. There's things that they don't get as fast, but like the more mass produced, mass released, like McFarlane and Marvel stuff, I'll see there. And I'll be like, oh yeah, like I saw Deadpool at it was actually at GameStop. I saw Deadpool before I got it, and I was like, oh, I really want to get this right now, but I'm like, oof. But if I wait a week, I have all my Deadpools coming in, so it gets tough. I have to like kind of pump the brakes a lot more often than I'm used to, because I was very impulsive before I started the store. So I had to curb that a little bit.
Would you consider that more FOMO than anything?
Yeah, probably. It did bug me, like seeing the Juggernaut was another one, because I kept seeing people reviewing them and all that, but I mean, we didn't get them so it probably took us, 3-4 more weeks than your average like large retail store. Well, I don't even know if have you seen a Juggernaut in the wild?
Not yet.
Yeah, I know people are getting them online from different, like Amazon. People are getting them quicker. But it took forever. So I kept seeing reviews pop up, and it was starting to hit hard because I really wanted to mess around with them. All the other Gamerverse stuff came in fairly timely manner, but that one went a bit longer. So you have to, I try to be patient when I can, which is, I'm getting better at that. And I'm also, I used to toy hunt way more than I do now. It's kind of a silly habit now, because it's like I could toy hunt and spend like,
right,
a lot of my day doing that, or I could just wait until like next week and then the hunt comes to me. But I do kind of miss that a little bit. I liked hitting all my Targets and Walmarts and GameStops, and then all the little stores around I had like my path. I'm sure you do too.
Like, oh yeah, I have my path. Yep. Currently, my path is where I work. There's a Ross, not even 2 minutes. It's right there. That's the first place I go at 9 o'clock when I open. And then on my lunch, I hit Target and GameStop, and then when I go home, I hit Walmart. Because I try to switch it up. So I'll do Ross in the morning, lunch I'll do Walmart, or Target, and then the next day I'll do GameStop, Target, or Walmart. So I just change it up because I live in I wouldn't say small town. It's about 200,000 people, but we literally only have one Target, one Walmart, one GameStop, one Best Buy, and that's pretty much it. So I have limited sources.
You still seem to find some pretty good stuff pretty quickly though, because I follow you and I see your posts every now and then, and I'm like, man, like that is 10 times better than what I'm getting here, and I'm in Wichita, Kansas, right? So small town for you probably too, but it's like, I mean, it's slim pickings out here. I've had people ask me, they're like, are you going to become the store that'll actually carry stuff here for like all the collectors? Like someday, but like, yeah, there's a Target down the road from me, and I head there quite a bit. I mean, because I need stuff from Target to actually work with too. Right. So I always run through the aisles, and it's like, I mean, they haven't reloaded Marvel Legends in what seems like months. Or it's the Spider-Man and Captain America like re-release ones that are just warming the pegs right now. But I'll jump on and see like, oh, look, T3's got like a truckload of like all this stuff that I haven't even seen in my city. It's unfair.
I get that a lot though, is people will comment like where I always put NorCal. No, like what city? And I say NorCal because I'm like, I don't want you coming to my city because I know what happens when you say something. People start traveling 4 or 5 hours to go buy something, and I'm like, I don't want that here. So I am a gatekeeper when it comes to that.
There's a point in time where I was like looking at your stuff and I'm like, this is bogus. I bet you just like walk around with this giant bag of stuff and you're like, you go into the Ross and you're like, hey, can I just place all my stuff out here and take a picture, then walk out? It's crazy. And Ross,
I did work at Ross last year for a short amount of time, and that's when I knew I was like, yeah, I can't ever go back to retail. I worked in retail forever, and I was like, I'm gonna try this for a little bit because the store manager like begged me to come work for her, and I was like, well, I am leaving this job that I actually hate, so I was like, yeah, why not? I'll just do it for this small amount of time, and then I'll figure something out. And I was only there like maybe a month and a half, and I was like, yeah, I'm out. I'm going back to my old job. It was terrible. But yeah, I don't know. People seem to think that same thing, that I literally just have it and I just go in. I'm like, literally no. Everything that I film on my toy hunts is all raw footage. I don't edit nothing. I edit in the transitions and edit out music, but literally that's what you see is what I'm seeing at the same time. It's great. Kind of funny.
It's awesome. Yeah. And I just sit there and I see it on my pop up on my phone. I'm like, gosh, damn it, that's so unfair.
Yeah,
the Ross is one that gets me. Yeah, because you always find some treasures at Ross, and I'm like,
oh,
the hell.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I never really thought about Ross until I think it was the Civil War wave. I was there with my wife and my son and daughter. I think they were younger. And I was just like looking at the toy section with my son, and I was like, what the heck? And I found an Iron Man. I was like, what the heck? Marvel Legends at Ross? That's weird. It was like $5.99 or something like that. So I bought it. And then I think I was looking around again and I found Captain America. I was like, what the heck? So I looked back. I was like, who's in this wave? I was like, okay, well, let's look around. So then that was the only two I found. And I was like, one day I just randomly went in there and found like another one. And I was like, dude, I'm buying these. It's like cheap, and this is like a year old. And then the only one I couldn't find was Black Panther. And then at the time, Black Panther had come out, so like anything Black Panther you could find for Marvel Legend. And then for my birthday, my wife got that for me, but like the one I needed, and I just was like blown away. I was like, please don't tell me you spent a lot of money on this. And she's like, well, she's like, I spent like $50, and I was like, oh my gosh. But then again, who would have known Ross had stuff like that? And ever since then, that's when I started getting back into my collecting when my son was born. I started buying him the 3 3/4 Marvel Universe stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I started getting into it again, because I had collected for a long time, got out of it, and then had a son. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get him into stuff I was into. That started my collecting hobby all over again in 2009. and it's never stops them. And my wife, just like yours, does not like it. So
Well, it's not like she doesn't dislike. She likes that it makes me happy. She's just this gross misunderstanding on like she just sees the tubs. So like back here, and it's a lot less, but you can see some tubs sticking out in the closet right here. But there's even more like on this back wall. It's all hidden in there. And it's just tubs and tubs of stuff. And I get that it's crazy because I used to keep it all out and displayed, and she understood that more. But now I rotate because I don't have as much space. So I rotate stuff out here and then like kind of on the sides. And so, but that's 5% of my collection is out, and then the rest is in tubs, and then I just switch it out every so often. And she's like, like I'll buy something, I'll pull it, I'll take it out, pose it maybe for a minute or two, like this is cool, and then I just go put it in the tub, until I display it like a year from now. And she's just like, right. That is crazy to me, and I'm like, I get it, like I get that you don't get it, like it makes sense to me why you don't get it,
right?
But we get it, like it's how we operate.
We get it, yeah. So like my wife, ever since I was ever since I was a kid, probably at some point when my mom threatened to throw away a bunch of my stuff, I kept everything. I would open it, put it back in the box, and then nicely put it away. And ever since then, I've been that way. So everything I open goes back. I play with it. It goes back in the box, and it's pretty bad. So I will show you. There you go.
Ah, yes.
And then over here,
the box towers.
Literally, it is just boxes on top of boxes.
So, is it tough for you to let go of boxes ever? Like, do you let go of boxes ever?
Probably not. Like, I have stuff open. Like, I have a Dr. Octopus and Spider-Man movie sitting on my desk right now. I have a Cobra Commander, a ROM, and an Iron Man sitting on top of an unopened G.I. Joe. So all those have just been sitting there, and clearly when I go to work, I look at this stuff and I'm like, it drives me nuts. I need to put it back, but I'm just so busy at work. When I come home, I don't want to do nothing else. So I'm just like, I'll just let it sit. Then I hear it from her, like, are you going to clean up the garage? Yeah, I'll do it on my day off. It never happens. Never happens.
Yeah. I hear you.
Oh, man, yeah. So, yeah, I got this pile. It's pretty bad. I have stuff behind me. I have Marvel Legends behind me. That all fell down. If you couldn't tell, I'm a huge Crow fan. Yeah, it's pretty bad that I have so much stuff. There's like 4 stacks deep behind me. It's just, I have nowhere to put it at this point.
Oh, man. I had to force myself to start throwing boxes away. I used to keep them, and eventually it got to a point where I'm like, because I keep everything out, but I keep the boxes. So I have like the stuff all in tubs, but then I have the boxes piled up in the corner of my storage room in my old house.
Right.
And eventually I'm like, I don't know why I'm like it. I just need to throw them away. But like even with like the Game Reverse boxes, they're so cool. They're nice so cool boxes. So I just threw the Juggernaut box away, and I mean it. Like you feel it, like as you let go, you're like, oh man, it feels weird because it's just such a nice box. But I'm like, I made a commitment that I'm like, I got to get rid of something. So if I want to sell it someday, it'll be loose and without the box. But yeah, that's that's the only way I could like save space because I can't afford any. I've got boxes everywhere outside of this door, so cuts have to happen.
It's true. It is true. So like recently, I would say the only thing that I actually open and throw away is now I'm buying, which I kind of hate doing, but I've been buying double retro card stuff. So I keep one on card, open one, and then I throw away there's no point to have the retro card when it's open in the plastic or whatever. So I have doubles of those. That's the ones that I buy doubles of. That's the only ones I do. Because I want to open them, play with them, have them on my shelf, but then I want that crisp, clean one on card. So it's really hard. So when I, like the Doctor Doom, I missed out on it multiple times, and now that it's re-released, I have to buy 2 so I can open one and keep one on card.
Yeah. I mean, they are, and I'm with you. Like, especially these like older retro cards.
Yes.
Like I don't care much for the X-Men like 97 stuff. Like those retro cards aren't as appealing to me. Like these big, the taller ones that are actually like throwing back to the old stuff. These are, I mean, like it's a cool product. I don't think I have one. Here it is. Okay, this might be my favorite retro card of all time. The Ghost Rider retro card, I think is. I mean, it's a good product, and I just love the way that looks.
Yeah, it brings you back to the 90s.
Yeah, I don't know if people will understand. And maybe it's just like going to be an us thing, like from our generation, that'll appreciate how cool the retro card is. Maybe not. I mean, I feel like younger people are getting it more and more, but yeah, those I'm the same way. It's like I don't keep them. I don't keep the retro cards, but those more than anything, like I wish I kept one of each. I just don't have the space for it anymore. The Ghost Rider, I do keep some stuff like retro cards and some. I have like a small collection of things that are still boxed in my closet up in the corner that are like the coolest retro cards and the coolest boxed items that like I don't ever want to take out of package. So not many, but they're the ones that I'm hoping are like 10 years from now worth like $500 a piece or something, something stupid.
You know what? Yeah, never know. That's the thing is when collecting in general, as you should know, you never know what's going to hit and what's not. Like you said about the Fantastic Four wave, under order no one expected that wave to do well MCU wise, and it's literally was and still is the hardest wave to find.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just crazy to me. Like you said about the Thunderbolts, I wish they didn't do 2-packs. I wish they would have just done single releases. But whatever, it is what it is. I only have one of them. I think I got clearance at Walmart for $15.
Exactly right.
Yeah, so just pure luck, I guess. Jeez. Yeah. So besides like Marvel Legends, Myth of Legions, and DC Multiverse, so you're not into G.I. Joe. I grew up on G.I. Joe, so I mean, have a thing towards it. I don't collect them all. I was trying to collect all of them because I wanted all the numerical order, but I was just like, I missed out on too many. I was like, I don't even care anymore. I don't even know half of these characters are. I got out of that when I got into, I don't know, something else, probably Turtles, I think, at the time. So what is one line, I guess I should say, that you want to bring into the store that you don't have now?
That I don't have now. There's a few that I have like slowly been working towards. It's just it's hard because like Dakota, when I talk to him, he's always mentioning different lines, and I'm like, it all sounds good at first, then it's like you realize how much work it is to like bring in a line, add that inventory in. But the ones that I'm probably closest to adding that I'd like to get in here, there's a few different ways I could take it. I want to get more imports in, for sure. Revoltech I just added. That's doing really well. I really want Mafex to be here. I tried, but I just don't have a ton of access to it. And so if I can't get like a lot of something, then I'm just not going to get it. Like if I only have access to like 3 items through my distributors, which is sometimes the case for imports, then it's just like, look, I think I'm just going to push this until I can get more of it. Or maybe I can go direct and get a better deal. So that's why I pushed Mafex off and Mezco, but I want both of those two. Now, I don't like Mezco at all, but I would like to carry it. And then there was one that I had reached. There's a few I've reached out on. I reached out to Loose Collectors, Indie Line. I like their stuff. I actually have their werewolf. They do these big old bulky guys. I got this big werewolf for Halloween.
So awesome.
I know, they're sweet. So reached out to them and they politely declined. There's a few others. I mean, I'd like to get Valaverse listed as well, but they're a tougher one. Their order quantities are really high. And it's hard for me to stomach investing in that right now. So at some point I'll get there. I mean, my goal at the end of the day is to get as much as I can into my store, but it's just like bite-sized pieces at a time. Right. So I think there's not one like personally though that like I need to have, because everything that I collect is already pretty much in the store. So there will probably be a few others out there that I'm missing, like Storm Collectibles is one that I'd love to carry too. But most of what I carry, and that's kind of how I started the store too, was like let's look at the stuff that I like first, because I know that we'll get that in, and then I'll start to kind of slowly drag other pieces in as I get further and further down this thing. So I mean, like Mark McFarlane, Marvel Legends, Mattel, all that stuff I like. Now I've tried getting more and more Bandai into the store, but it does not sell super well for me. I'm talking more like Dragon Stars and Gundam Universe. I just don't think people in the like anime world that are collectors, I just don't know if there's a huge connection there, or maybe it's just my audience is not that yet. I mean, my audience is very much Marvel Legends and McFarlane, so anyways, I'm kind of rambling down this time, but
I think the Dragon Stars thing is, I think it's kind of common though from other independent stores that I've become friends with. It's like the one that they don't sell a lot of, and that's the one thing that I see a lot of at Ross. So that tells me like there's a lot of places, not just retail, that just have a bulk quantity of it, and they're just trying to get rid of it. So I could see why.
Yeah. So those two, when I run out of those, I'm probably not going to order anymore. But like SHF does relatively well, so I'll probably keep that up. So and at some point I'll probably do like Gundam kits, like model kits, because I do those sometimes too. Those are popular. No worries about that stuff selling, but yeah, those other things. So I'm actually more at a phase of like, rather than like bringing stuff on, it's like there's a couple things I probably need to get out of the store. And there's some stuff I need to revisit. Like WWE stuff is a hard one for me. I'm a huge WWE fan, but it doesn't sell super well online for me. There's not a huge pre-order market, which is, I bet 80% of my sales right now are pre-orders. So it's, that's a tough one for me to kind of wrap my mind around. But I'm going to probably keep at it to some extent with the WWE stuff. But anyways.
Yeah, I always find that interesting with the WWE stuff, because you see it in retail, but retail doesn't always carry a full wave half the time, I guess. I mean, I don't know, like every Target and Walmart is different. Like my Walmart is terrible with WWE. They'll have it and then they'll just sell through it, and then they just have old stuff. It just sits and sits and sits. So like the other day I saw Series 120, I think, and that's with the Cody Rhodes, Gacy, Roman Reigns, LA Knight. There's a John Cena in it. And the Cody, which I didn't know until today, there's a Chase version of him with a pink business suit. And I was like, oh, like, I don't care. I don't collect wrestling. If I'm going to collect wrestling, there's only one figure or guy I'm collecting, it's CM Punk. I've followed him forever, so I'll collect his stuff. That's pretty much it.
Not Sting, though?
I have a lot of Sting stuff, but I end up selling it off to a toy store in LA.
Okay. I was going to say, because he's got, the heavy Crow influences there.
Yep. I know, I was like, I don't want to part with them, but I was like, I don't collect wrestling. I like Sting, but I don't know. I like CM Punk probably a little bit more. I know I've followed Sting for a long time, like through the 80s into the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
CM Punk's still relatively new. I mean, not really in the last, 20 years he's been around. So, yeah, CM Punk's really the only one I'll collect. I don't think of anything else as far as I could see why. Like, look at the AEW stuff. It's all at Ross, and I think Jazzwares lost the license, or they're just done with them. They're not good figures at all. I don't feel like they're good figures.
Yeah, I could see that. It's a tricky one. I mean, like I go to how I do my market research sometimes is just like I'll go to Walmart and Target and I'll see like what stays on shelves there, And it's like, maybe a silly way of doing it, but it's like, yeah, I mean, every time I'm there, the same WWE figures are out, and then I see them eventually. They never get discounted for some reason at like Target, but at Walmart they eventually are. Best Buy, same thing. They've had the same like 2 Rock figures there discounted forever, which surprises me because it's The Rock, right?
Right.
But it's funny. My middle son, he's 6, so he's trying to collect because my older son collects. Obviously, I do. So he wants to get into it, and his whole thing has been WWE figures. He loves WWE stuff. And so he's mad at me, though, because I have, like, I don't carry as much anymore. Like, I quit buying up WWE stuff. So he's like, well, I give my older son, like, I'll give him figures all the time just for helping me. Like, he'll help bring boxes down. I'll give him a figure. And then my middle son helps do the same stuff. And he's like, okay, but you don't have any WWE stuff to give me. And I'm like, no, that sucks. So maybe I'll get more just so I can, like, keep him happy. I did find him a Cody Rhodes at TJ Maxx the other day, though, so he was pretty pumped about that.
Shoot. Heck yeah.
I know.
Nothing wrong with little Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, big time, right?
Yeah. So, would you consider carrying Mondo at some point?
Yeah, I would. Man, that He-Man stuff they're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Dakota has asked me multiple times because I know he thinks we all think that's the coolest He-Man we've ever seen. Same issue though is kind of some of the other stuff where I don't have a ton of access to it, so I'll pull it on at some point. But I just added Rebel Tech, so I'm sure I'll get to Mondo eventually. I like to pair, like when I do launch into a new category or like a new line, I try to pair it up with like a upcoming release. So I got like SHF. I started carrying that when the Spider-Man was released, right? So I kind of timed it at about the same time so that I could kind of ride the pre-order hype. People would see like, oh, New Meta carries this, and then go from there. But like with Mondo, I kind of missed the He-Man thing. Like that happened like before, and I wasn't quite ready to take it on. So I'm like, we'll do this another time. But I'm like, you talk about FOMO. I'm like, ooh, that is a hot figure. I want that. So
yeah. Especially the new one that they just announced, the 6-inch version of He-Man. I think it's He-Man from 2000. I got to see the prototype at, I'm trying to remember now, WonderCon. I think it was WonderCon. And then Comic-Con, I got to see the actual painted, and I was like blown away. The prototype looked great, but then seeing it painted, I was like, holy crap. I literally was like, I'm about to drop $100 and whatever this is. So, okay.
Yeah, it's that good, right?
Yeah. I mean, even the Skeletor, the 12, I think it's 12 inches. I got to see that at Comic-Con, and I was just like, oh my gosh, take my money. I don't care if I can't afford it, I won't buy it. Like, they're pretty damn good.
Yeah. I think the price point, though, because I know that's a huge catch for some people, but to want to get that, and then, I mean, Mattel, like, they're still doing pretty good He-Man stuff at a lower price point. So, like, they've got the 200X He-Man that they just put on pre-order. Like, we just put that up the other day. And, like, hey, that definitely, I mean, if you don't want to spend $100-some on your He-Man, like, that one works pretty well, too. So, I mean, yeah, give them, I mean, I guess Mattel owns Mondo, right? So give them credit. They're kind of hitting every tier of the market. Do they own Mondo?
No, Funko actually owns Mondo, yeah, of all places.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Funko, parent company. Funny. But anyways, yeah, Mattel, because it like right after that released for Mondo, and of course the timing's probably there. Then you've got Mondo releases that, Mattel releases the 200X version for the Origins, and it's like, oh dang, you could get the 100 one. Which again, I want to hold it at some point and see what it's all about. But Mattel's definitely doing a decent job with what they've got at a much more reasonable price point.
Oh, for sure. And that's kind of like how it is now. Like Mondo figures, well, the big ones, those used to, you couldn't even get those. They used to be just fly off the shelf. Now they're kind of just sticking around because they just went up. They're like expensive. Kind of like Hot Toys. Hot Toys used to sell out, and now they're just kind of like sitting because their prices are too high. And I don't know. I only have one Hot Toy. I have a Crow. That's literally it. I don't have any Mondo stuff. I want it. I want the animated Spider-Man line, but I can't see myself dropping $200 to $300 a piece on them. But then someone's like, if you break it down this way, like that's 4 Marvel Legends or whatever that you buy, 12. Whatever amount you buy, you can literally own one Spider-Man. I'm like, yeah, that's the point. You don't play with these. They're literally for you to have on a shelf. You don't move them because they scuff. Like, you just don't do nothing with them. They're like statue pieces in a way. So that's the only thing that keeps me away from not buying them is the price. And there's, I don't know, you just can't really do much with them without them not breaking, I guess.
That is, I've never heard that framing of that where it's like, how many Marvel Legends is this worth? Like that. That's how I'm going to start thinking through things. Should use that with my wife. It's like, how much have you spent on groceries? Oh, it's like 10 Marvel Legends. That's what I'll start doing. She'll love that.
I mean, in reality, not to say that I know a lot of people, but I do have an in with Mondo. So if you need a contact, I can give you that. It's where they take it from there. I don't know. Like, I only know the artist, and I know, I'm trying to think, the contact person that I had met at WonderCon and Comic-Con, I think. It was the same lady. So that's how you would get in, is I could give you that information and then you do whatever you need to do, and then pretty sure they'll figure out a way for you to get their stuff. Because I feel like they want their stuff in more hands.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's, the goal. Like, if I can go direct with company, that's kind of, one of the phases of this master plan I have, where it's like, I am working through distribution channels right now that I have to work through because Hasbro would never and may never work with me directly because it's Hasbro, like the biggest toy company in the world, pretty much outside of Lego. And so, but at some point, it's like you have to go direct if you want to keep growing because these margins are so thin. So I'm like, man, any direct relationship I can get, absolutely. And I will 100% carry your stuff. I've actually had a few reach out to me to carry their stuff, but if it's something like Mondo with like well-known IPs, it's like no brainer. But then some of these that I get, like I'll hear from occasionally, it's like an IP that I don't even know about, and that's bad if I don't know about it. Right. Then it's like, I may have to do some more research. It will, postpone this until a later date. But I've reached out to McFarlane to try to go direct a couple times because my sales numbers are actually about where they like to see them. But then they just kind of put a hard stop on direct relationships with online retailers outside of like a few of the largest ones. So I'm like, okay, we'll have to do that later. But yeah, Mondo would be big. And really, if it weren't for the availability of the Mondo that I have through my distributors, I'd probably already have them on my website. So that's kind of the only thing holding me back with them.
So have you thought about, or have you tried or want to, I'm assuming this answer is going to be yes, go to like San Diego Comic-Con?
Oh yeah, I 100%, I've tried to like talk my wife into that being like a vacation for us. We've been to San Diego together, and it's one of our favorite vacations that just the two of us have been on. It's actually, I think, the last vacation the two of us went on without kids. So I'm like, hey, what if we, did Comic-Con with it? And back in the day, she used to laugh in my face and be like, hell no. But now, so she's coming with me to Toy Fair in New York, which is a big deal. Okay,
cool.
So I got invited to that. I had to apply and send in financials and because it's closed off to the public, and I get to see stuff that's coming out for the rest of the year. to sign NDAs. It's a big deal. So she's coming as like my number two, going to help me out, and she's pumped for it, right? So she's like, we're going to New York. She's going to have like a day to herself, and then we're both going to do stuff at the toy fair and then out together. So she's like all about it now. So I'm like, okay, San Diego Comic-Con, same idea. Like, let's go do it's business now, right? We'll put it on the card and we'll make a thing of it. So I think that'll happen at some point. But if I can make it worthwhile for myself and actually do some stuff there, like building relationships with some of these groups directly, it'll be really easy to kind of validate and justify the trip. But that's a dream trip for me. I know you went this year, didn't you?
Yeah. After 10 years of trying, that was crazy. I was actually in another town where we have another. So I'm the CEO of a how do I say this? Automotive detailing window tint company. So we have another shop that's like an hour away, and I was literally there, leaving, going to get lunch, and I opened my phone, the stoplight, going through my email, and I was like, oh, probably not gonna hear it. And then I see the Comic-Con, I was like, oh, here's another denial thing, and I click it, and it's all congratulations, and I freaked out. I text my friend, I'm all, dude, you need to check your email. He's like, why? And I was like, just check it. Check for Comic-Con. And so he checked it, and he's like, no way, dude, I got in too. And I was like, this is nuts. It's all 10 years straight, and this the year that I actually got it. So it was really, really cool. The one thing I didn't like doing was going by myself. That kind of sucked. But it was fun. I did get to meet a lot of people that I've talked to through Instagram, like Mondo people, which I had met prior. Well, Attack Peter, I've never met. I think he was sick or had neck surgery. So I got to meet him in person finally. So him and I talked, and I got to meet and talk to, I think he's the marketing for Jada Toys. I have his card. So I got to meet and talk to people, but it's like they say it is. It's busy, it's crowded, it's crazy. I think the majority of the time when you're there, depending on what you want to do, my goal was just to get the exclusives I wanted, the Marvel Legend one and the Jada Street Fighter ones, and that was my goal. Got them. And after that, I was just chilled and checked out everything. So it's super fun. Definitely worth going.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to happen at some point. For me, it's like a bucket list item. Like, I just want to mark it off. Like,
yep.
I don't have to go multiple times, but I got to go at least once in my life. And now with this going on, I'm like, well, maybe I should go more than once. But I was going to ask, so what was your number one exclusive that you got?
That's hard, actually. So probably the Marvel Legends Snap, the Sauron, because I don't have it.
The Savage Lands, like 3-pack.
Yeah, Savage Land thing. The hard part about that is they obviously have a line. They had it capped. Like on preview night, I went in. The first thing I wanted to do was do that. Got in right away. It was capped already. I was like, how the hell did it get capped already? No one was in. But I think they let in industry people first. Or I don't know how. It was just capped. It was literally capped the whole time I was there. It wasn't until Friday where I was able to finally get into the line, get in, wait, get through the whole line, and get what I wanted. And then later that day, I was like, oh, someone else wanted something. I was like, yeah. I was like, let me try again, because this was a freaking nightmare to do. Go up to the guy. I was like, is this the line? He's like, oh, no, you can just walk in. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I spent 3 days trying to get in this damn line, and now I can just get in. But yeah, it was cool. That was my number one. And then number two was Jada Street Fighter. I literally got in that line, and one of the guys, I think it's a photographer, he was like, he saw my shirt, and he's like, hey, I know you. And I was like, oh, you do? He's like, yeah, me and I can't remember his name, watch your channel. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, just get in line. And I was like, what the hell? So I was like, I didn't think of anything. I was like, that's pretty cool. So I got to see all the new stuff, because you get to see the new stuff when you walk around it, all the new Street Fighter stuff. And then I just got what I wanted and left. And then that, I was like, I'm good. I'm done. I don't have to buy anything else. And then I bought one more thing, which is this crow statue, which you can't see right here. because I don't have it. And that was literally it. I bought those 3 things, and the rest of the time, all my money went to Uber and food. So
Yeah, you did it though. That's awesome. Who was it? So the Jada, the street, was it? Who would it have been? Dalsim Player 2 and
yes, and M Bison.
and Bison Player 2.
Can't remember what. Oh, I have it in there. Yeah, I literally just opened it to do a review on it, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, dude, these things are so nice." It's the first Jada Street Fighter I opened ever. Was that M Bison?
Really?
And I was like, "Yeah." I have all these other ones sitting; they're buried. But I was just like, I like the way they look in those boxes, and I was just like, I don't want to ruin this. But
Yeah.
the M Bison I opened, and I was just like blown away. I was like, God, these are so good.
Yeah, man, my Jada Toys soapbox. Yeah, I mean, they are. I think they're the best toy company right now. I think they're doing the best job.
Oh, hands down. Yeah.
Yeah, the boxing, the price point, the figures. I mean, they're amazing. Yeah, I was like begging Dakota to get some, and he finally opened up the Scooby Doo ones and had messaged me like, "These are like the greatest things ever." And I'm like, "I've been telling you guys, been preaching this for a while. I'm like their biggest advocate. Like, Jada, I hope you hear this and go direct with me." But yeah, I think it was the first one I opened up was Dalsim with the the long stretchy arms.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this is just. I mean, it has like the metal rings and the earrings, and they are killing it. I've actually got the Player 2 camis coming in soon, so those have been really popular. It's like she's got like more of like a silver, kind of whitish silver suit. Yeah, those are good ones. Excited to see what they do with the Invincible line. People are pumped for that.
Oh yeah, yeah. When I went to their panel, that's when they announced it, and I like that crowd went crazy. I was like, dang, I didn't expect this to be that crazy. I'm not into that show. My son likes it, and I sent him photos, and he's like, "Wait, who's doing these?" I'm like, "Jada." He's like, "I'm gonna want those." I'm like, "Dang," because he collects literally just Transformers.
Oh, just Transformers, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been surprised too. Like, I love the show, and I'm not pumped for the figures, but that has nothing to do with like. I think they're cool. I'll probably try to like get my son to maybe open one up so I can like play with them. But like, I'm not. I don't have to have them. But I've been surprised how rabid the fan base is for those.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of people that are like have been desperate, and I guess it's because there haven't been like a lot of good figures for Invincible out there. But I'm just it was news to me that I guess that was such a desired like action figure line.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be cool though. I mean, I love the show. So I mean, I say this, I'm not going to end up getting all of them or something. I probably will. Because I will say, give Jada Toys credit for another thing they do. I know some people may not like this, but they release stuff in like bite-sized waves. So you can't really overdo Jada that fast. Like it would be hard to overdo it. So we'll see what else they get, what other IPs they get their hands on. I was telling somebody the other day that I'm like, man, any video game made in the 90s, they should just immediately get the rights to.
100% agree.
Because that seems to be their bread and butter right now.
Yeah, because when they had their panel, they were talking about that whole, what you just said, basically, like, it's just little bits at a time. And then they're like, oh, we just want to apologize. It took us 3 years to get through this whole Street Fighter 2 wave. And I'm like, has it been that long? It doesn't feel like it's been that long. I feel like they've been announcing them and then putting them out. I'm like, I don't care. I don't need you to push them out so fast. I'm fine with this. And then when they announced the Invincible stuff, literally after it was over, everyone was asking, hey, so when are you going to announce the Wave 2 of the Invincible? And I think they weren't expecting that because they're just like, wait, what? We have things in ideas-wise, so we don't have anything coming out that we can talk about. And I was just like, dang, I didn't realize the fan base of the Invincible was that crazy. So that's something I learned at Comic-Con. I was like, yeah, I know about it. I know Kirkman has written it. And my son watches the Amazon show. and he tried to get me into it. I'm just like, I just can't get into this animated stuff because I'm not familiar with the comic book. But if it's X-Men 97, I can sit there and watch it, no problem. So I don't know. It's probably just a weird me thing.
Yeah, I think that's you because it's an amazing show, and you got to give it a shot.
Yeah,
Which is funny
I
because
know.
I'm not as I like X-Men 97, but I'm not nearly as rabid as the rest of the fan base is for that. Um, I don't know. I mean, I think that's just I honestly I don't watch as much TV at all anymore. I mean, there's not much TV I turn on these
True.
days, and so starting up another show is difficult because I mean, like I still have a fairly decent like MCU backlog with their shows. I'm not caught up on everything, which it's just I think I'm like a little overstimulated with like superhero content recently, so it's like it's easier to miss stuff and be like, I'll get to it down the road. But Invincible, I still turn out for pretty much every season. It's different.
That's something I need to invest some time into. Like I did with the boys. I couldn't get into, was it Gen V?
Ooh, I need to finish Gen V. I do like that. The boys in Gen V have been a lot of fun for me. But yeah. I mean, it's hard to find the time anymore, right? We've only got so much time. You get home, you want to sit with your stuff. I watch a lot of horror movies right now.
Yes.
Those are my TV shows at the moment. So, yeah. I mean, maybe they'll do McFarlane should do a boys line. I'm surprised they haven't already, honestly.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't either, actually. Good point. Yeah, I don't. I know that's when he's done with DC, which they announced that NYCC was the Image comic wave that's going to be coming out. I think next in January it starts. I figured that's what he was going to pivot to because they haven't done any of those figures since he did them in the 90s. So I think the only one I'm looking forward to is Savage Dragon because I think he's the coolest looking one. I don't need a Spawn. I have too many Spawns. So is that? I mean, you're going to carry McFarlane. Is that one line of the Image stuff you think is going to do well or no?
I think so for some of it. So, and I'm still, I mean, like that Elite Edition Spawn, is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, I think they're all Elite Editions.
Are they all?
I think so.
I think because I was talking to somebody about like what's coming out. I mean, they've got kind of like a laundry list of things there with the Image comics. I think Savage Dragon, I think is going to do it. Like I'll buy as much of that as they'll let me buy. Because to my knowledge, there hasn't been like an updated good figure for that since maybe, and I mean, it's debatable. I mean, did McFarlane do a figure for that like way back in the day in the clamshell packaging?
Yeah, like way back in the day.
Because that's one that I like. That's kind of how I view things too. Like, and that's part of the reason why I think that I'm doing relatively well at this is like being able to see like, okay, this hasn't been out for a long time, so it should do relatively well because we need it. Like this is how we kind of the hive mind of the collectors. Like we need this. Right. But that's actually why I think Spawn Elite Edition will do really well too because we haven't had a regular old Spawn in a while. And it's going to have this big old wire cape. Like, I'm pumped for that. Like, that's probably my most excited, or the most excited I've been for one of the Elite Edition announcements they've had in a while. But I think the Image stuff is going to be really cool. I mean, it's anybody's guess on how well any of it's going to do. But, I mean, I think McFarlane's improving right now, just in general quality and, like, listening to the customers and, like, what we want. So, I don't know. Like, I'm a little indifferent. So we've got the Ninja Turtle page punchers that are coming out. Well, they're kind of already out. Like I already saw them at Target, and I still don't even have my order in yet. Or like it should be here. Like I think next week sometime. And I said, but I haven't had like hardly any pre-orders on them. Having said that, I know my distributor is completely out of Shredder and the Foot Ninja. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be weird, but also, which doesn't surprise me because I think people are getting a little exhausted of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right now.
Yeah, I would say so.
It's kind of getting to a point where it's like, good grief, like who else? Like should I release a TMNT line? Like, where's it in, right?
Like everyone has a freaking turtles. Jeez.
Yeah, everybody and their dogs like releasing a TMNT line these days. So I think there's a bit of that. So it's kind of a hard thing to measure against, but I think by and large, for one, I think page punchers do pretty well. And so if they kind of keep that format with a lot of what they're doing, I think that'll be really good for image. But it sounds like so you're saying Savage Dragon's supposed to be like an Elite Edition style?
I believe so. I'm not 100% correct. I felt like that's what I saw, that they were going to do that line as an Elite Edition, and I was like, ooh, Elite Edition. The Elite Edition, they're all going to be $60 or whatever their price point is for that.
Yeah.
Well, that might be a hard sell, but maybe I had that wrong. But if it is they all that way, like I said, the only one I really want is Savage Dragon. The Spawn, that could be a different thing if I see it in person. That may change.
Yeah. See, I don't have a regular Spawn. I don't have the classic Spawn, so I'm like a little bit more desperate for that. But I think Savage Dragon will do well no matter which format they put it in. I just think personally that page punchers are the coolest thing that McFarlane produces right now. Yeah. So I think the more they push towards that with image stuff, I think that'll be. I mean, having the like comic in there, it just displays so well.
Yes, 100%.
It sucks to open, but they display super well. So like I've still got. I mean, those are the only things that like I'm never gonna open. I've got like the Page Punchers Wonder Woman in there still in my closet.
Oh,
love
yeah.
that. So if they go that direction, I think those should do pretty well. But I don't know as much about Image Comics, honestly. So I never read them. I know Spawn pretty well, as we all do, and I know of Savage Dragon, and I think he just looks totally cool. And
one looks cool.
He's I mean, he's a Savage. He's a Dragon Man. I don't know what else.
Yeah.
But there is to say about him.
He's a cop that's a dragon. I don't know how else to explain it. I mean, that alone got me to buy that comic. Well, one, Eric Larson, the creator, drew Spider-Man after McFarlane. So that's my tie to Savage Dragon, because I just followed artists, because I'm an art major. So comic book art, I just followed wherever they went. And when they all left Marvel to do this, I was just like, oh, what the heck? I don't know if I'm going to like any of this stuff. It's all independent. But then again, all that first, Youngblood, Spawn, Shadowhawk, Savage Dragon, all that was awesome at the time. I can't say I haven't bought a comic book, but the comic book shop I had, they went out of business, and I haven't had a comic book shop since, and it's been 10 years, I think, and I have to travel. If I want to buy comic books, I have to travel an hour or two to go to a comic book store.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, so I literally don't know what's going on. I started buying Ultimate Spider-Man, the newest one. I mean, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. And I was like, oh, I want to get that. And I started reading them. My son reads all his comics online through some apps. So he knows what's going on. I'm like, what are you talking about? How do you know this? He's like, oh, I read it here. And I was like, what the heck? So I'm more of the physical book type guy. I don't want an omnibus. I want the individual issues. He could do either one. He doesn't care. He just wants to read them. He's a huge Moon Knight fan. So trying to find Moon Knight stuff is not very easy either sometimes. So when I do go out of town for work or whatever, I will go to a comic shop and I'll send him pictures. Do you have this? Do you have this? No, I need that, need that, need that. I'm like, oh yeah. And then I'll come home with a stack of comics. And then he'll basically take them, put them in his room, read through them, put them all back, put them in the garage where I have them. And then I'm like, did you read the comics? He's like, yep. I'm like, cool. Good to know. Well, you read them before I did.
So I guess I've got a differing style right now, because it's a little bit of a mixture, because I've got the map, and all I read is Marvel. And so, I mean, I kind of want to get into the image stuff now, honestly, but so I've got the Marvel app on my iPad, so I read everything through that, and then I will go, so I'm reading Ghost Rider stuff right now, so I'm halfway through the Danny Ketch stuff from the 90s. I'm very thematic in my approach too, so I'm Halloween, I want to read Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, Midnight Suns. I want to read that stuff. So I'm doing Ghost Rider, and I've got my display up here, right, with all the Ghost Rider
awesome.
stuff. And so I'll read it, and then I'll go through and I'll pick out my favorite comics as I'm reading it, and I just keep tabs on them. Then I go buy the comics if they got them at the shop, or I'll buy them on eBay for a couple bucks, and then get those in. I'll reread them or just like look through them. And then I try to make like displays with them. So like I kind of go around it that way, and I only want the comics that I think like look the coolest and have the best like content. So, but also, I mean, it's hard to go wrong with some of that early stuff, like the Ghost Rider stuff from the '90s with like Danny Ketch. Those covers are awesome. Like every single cover looks so good.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I mean, like I think once I'm done with this display, I've got like a bunch of Immortal Hulk stuff that I finished up the other day, so I'll probably do something like that. So kind of, I love the Hulk logo, so I'm like, I'll find some good, comics that kind of display that well. But yeah, don't do. I mean, the comic shop here, I just have we've only got one, and I have a love-hate relationship with them because it's just overpriced like crazy. And I just can't stand. I don't really like the guys in there, but yeah. So I go every now and then. I'll go in and see what they got, and I'm like, I don't want to spend too much money at this place. We'll just get it on eBay, I guess, for like a couple bucks a piece here and there.
Yeah, that's kind of like, I have a stack to my left here of X-Men stuff, some Spider-Man stuff. I went on this whole like whatnot tangent of just buying them because you can get them pretty cheap. You can get books that are worth not like a huge amount, but ones that are actually worth a decent amount. I got some X-Men ones. I just like the covers, and I'm like, oh, I remember this from when I was a kid. I was like, I always wanted it, bought it, and then my friend's like, dude, that's like a $60 book. Well, we talk about it, I look it up. I was like, oh shoot, I only paid $2 for this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I went through this whole thing, and long story short, I'm trying to remember. I was home because I hurt my back. Oh, this is when I came back from WonderCon. I drove from where I live. It's like 9 hours. Just drove there, drove back, and like a couple days later, my lower back was killing me. So my wife gave me half a Vicodin, which I'm allergic to Vicodin, and then I was at home watching TV on my bed, looking through whatnot, and then I passed out. And next thing you know, I had racked up like $200. I didn't know that I was just swiping, I guess. And then I got them in the mail, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know what I bought, but yeah, it was. Let's just say she wasn't happy. And then I was like, holy crap, I can't believe I bought this many comic books.
That's hilarious. I'm the same way with eBay. It is like my guilty pleasure night where it's like seeing what figures they got on there. It's like, all right, we found like this, old like Spider-Man 2099 figure or something like that. That's yeah. I used to do a lot of sales on whatnot, like to get rid of stock. But I stayed off. I got in trouble for repping my store too much. So I'm not kicked off, but I'm like, I got like a nasty little email, like, please stop like telling people to go to your website. Gosh damn it! I'm like, I thought that was okay, but they got me. Hands up. Not allowed to do that and whatnot.
Yeah, they're sticklers for a lot of things. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with whatnot. There's days I like it, and there's days I don't. And then I got introduced to ENCORE.com, which is literally the same thing, but you do videos instead of pictures. You do like, it can be 10, 20 seconds, doesn't matter. And then you just post it up, and that's literally it. And it's actually pretty cool. I think the first week I did it, I was selling off a bunch of stuff that had extra that I didn't need. And I want to say I made probably like $400 in like a day or a day and a half or something like that. Just on random stuff. I was like, oh, I don't really need this. I have too many of this. Why do I have this? And I was just like shocked. I was like, oh. But it started out as mainly a Pokemon thing and Funko thing. And then they started to get into video games. They slowly started doing action figures. And I was like, well, I want to be the action figure guy. Because you have people selling like, I don't know, yard sale stuff basically on here. I want to be the guy. So that's how I was able to get in with them. With them, you have to have a meeting and they talk to get to know you, whatever. the guys that run it, that own it, are freaking the nicest dudes ever. So if it's something that you want to maybe get into, they don't care if you rep your own store. That's the one thing I like about it.
Oh yeah, I mean that's really any channel I can find where that's okay. I'm all for it. Like that's why I would probably do more Whatnot if not for the fact that like I can't
right
like directly. And I'm not. It's not like I was telling people like, hey, buy this on my website, not here. I was like, hey guys, don't forget like if you want to see more stuff that I've got, check out GoNewMeta.com. And it's like, oh, I guess you're not supposed to like tell people that. It's like a very, I'd have like a peg wall up where I'm like selling stuff on the peg wall, pretty good deals. And it's like, I'll backpedal a bit, but
yeah, I got in trouble for saying eBay too many times because they don't apparently like competition. I don't really know. They're like, yeah, you can't say eBay, and I was like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. But okay, and that's kind of like why I quit selling on it. I'm like, why does it matter? You guys do the same thing. One's live, one's not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but and as it turns out, though, actually, I mean, there's a lot of people from Whatnot that like follow me and like follow me on Instagram now and like buy stuff from the store all the time. So it worked out in my favor regardless. But I'll check in every now and then. Like when I've got like 800 Bumblebee Transformers I got to get rid of. It's like, all right, $5 a piece. Let's go and Whatnot. Which I do, by the way. I have like probably 100 Bumblebees that I still need to get rid of.
Damn, that's a lot.
Big mistake when I started was buying way too many Transformers that people did not want. That was like my first like day one mistake because I don't know Transformers at all. So
either do I. I have to ask my son when I see something new. I send it to him because I'm like, to me they all look the same at this point. And he's like, I already have it. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, you sure? Yeah, I already have it. I'll buy things thinking he doesn't have it, and he's like, I already have it. And I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, I've got, and this is, give myself credit a little bit. Like I worked really hard to find like people that know each genre or each line to like be friends with, to give me advice. And first thing I did was I went and found a bunch of Transformers people, and it's like 2 or 3 of them that I talk to fairly often. And I mean, I'll never forget the first time that they're like, hey, I was looking at these like green Transformer construction Transformers. He's like, yeah, that's going to be popular. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, because it's a combiner. And I'm like, dude, what the hell is a combiner? And he's like, they make a Megazord pretty much. And I'm like, and now I've got, I mean, you can, there he is, right? There's my, where's my finger? There he is, the Devastator, right? So I don't do a ton of Transformers still. I've got a handful. I've got 2 combiners because I think those are awesome. But I'm like, man, I had no clue that was a thing. And so you have to get to know each toy line and kind of what the thing is, like what makes them popular. But combiners, every combiner I've sold or that I've had listed sold out. So, I mean, that was a shocker to me, but kind of a funny little entrance into the Transformers world. But now I got a guy and I'm like, something will come out and he'll be like, yeah, you should. That'll be really popular because like that finishes this set, and this will finish that set, and people are really pumped about that. So got a few of those people in my back pocket for each line now.
Hey, that's good. You got to have them because I think you're well versed in the Marvel stuff. You have a back pocket guy for Transformers. What about like G.I. Joe? Do you have a back pocket guy for G.I. Joe?
No, that is an absolute shot in the dark every time right now.
Really?
For G.I. Joe. I noticed trends, like new stuff always does well with G.I. Joe. Like I've got a few people that are hardcore G.I. Joe people that buy all their stuff from me now. And anything new that's released, they buy it. Probably kind of to what you said. Like they want every number, right? Like they've got to have... Mm-hmm. I think that's how G.I. Joe people are. Like they have to have every single one. Maybe that's the thing. Yeah. But like with me, with Legends people, I feel like for some of us, it's like there are specific teams I'm trying to complete. I don't have to have every Marvel Legends. Like I want to complete certain teams. And like Feral, I'm pumped for because I need Feral to gotta finish that group, right? Got the new strong guy in. Like I need, I got to go find a new Havoc because I sold mine a long time ago. But then they announced Feral, and I'm like, well, shoot, I got to go buy Havoc again because I can complete the team now. It's like that's how we operate, right?
Yeah,
And I think I don't
100%.
know, GI Joes I don't get as much, but like my assumption is that like the hardcore people have to have every single one. And there are certain GI Joes that like that'll always sell well. Like Flint always sells well. Usually Snake Eye sells well. There's been a couple crappy Snake Eye figures recently.
Yeah.
I don't think people like him in like his climbing gear. I mean, those I know they don't because there's a bunch of them sitting right next to me.
Yeah, I have that somewhere.
Let's see. This guy right here. That is, and it's not a bad looking figure, but I think
No.
people want Snake Eyes in all black with the cool metallic visor, right? So,
Yep.
that one I probably need some more help there, but I don't know very many GI Joes people. So I need to make some headway there. Transformers, I've got a lot of people. I feel like actually pretty good about Transformers and my knowledge there now. McFarlane, same thing. That took a bit. I got a couple people that helped me with McFarlane stuff. I had a guy. He's like, Batman Returns wave. Buy as much of it as you can, and he was 1,000,000% right. And you notice things with like I'm pretty good at ordering McFarlane stuff now. I mean, there's the female models for McFarlane usually always sell well. And part of that's like scarcity of certain types of figures, and part of it is I think people really like Batgirl sells well. I mean, I'm sold out. Here she is. They're good looking figures, and they're also
she looks good.
You've got the cloth cape, and it's a solid figure, and it's not Batman. Like we've got 100 of those, but so you kind of pick up on trends there. So like there's a couple, I can't say them, but there's a couple that got announced for next year. Well, I say they're not announced. My distributor told me in confidence what they're going to be selling for next.
Yeah.
And there's a couple female figures out there that have not gotten any love that I know people are going to go batshit crazy for. So, and like that, like I'll buy as many cases as you'll let me buy. So I'm you figure it out down as you get going, but yeah. So McFarlane, we're good. There's not really a precedent for Jada, so I mean, they just sell. You list them and everybody buys them. It's, I mean, they do kind of all the marketing for me at this point. So,
I was gonna say, like they, like you said, they do their own, like their marketing is just they make cool shit and people love it, so they really don't have to do much for their stuff.
And I think everyone is kind of buying Jada toys, right? Like Marvel Legends people are buying it, McFarlane people, like everybody is trying to get a piece of that. Like there's a lot of overlap. So, and then the only other one that I don't really have a ton of knowledge around is like Bandai. So that's where I'm like, I need to break more into that scene at some point, figure out, how more of like how the anime stuff sells well, is a little tricky for me. Or, where are they buying it and that whole thing.
Yeah. As I know you talked about imports earlier. So the one import, I think it's, well, they're not, I don't know if they're that, well, I guess they're new. They're mostly statues, but they started doing, is it 112? I can't remember. I think it's 112. The Dark Knight, it's NR. So NR has their like 6-inch version of toys now. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've seen the Dark Knight Batman.
Who was it that you said?
It's called NR.
I don't know if I have seen much of their stuff. Like the letter N art?
Yeah, NR, INART. So their 6-inch version of Batman, it's from the Dark Knight. So my friend, they sent him one. Just, I don't think they even told him. They said, "Hey, we're sending you something. They had like all these rules. Like you can't post your video, your review, whatever, until this time. Like everyone got the same one. You can't post at this time because they're from, I think, Japan, maybe. I don't remember where they're from. But I got to see it in person when I went down to Comic-Con. No, I'm trying to think. Some video game thing that SoCal Gaming Expo. So I got to see it in person. That is probably the best Batman I've ever seen. It's literally a miniature hot toy. It was crazy
How
how
are these? I think I'm on their website, like Global In Art Studio. They're like $13. That can't be right. But regardless, I'm seeing like they've got the Wukong stuff up here that I'm looking at. If that's what it is. So there's a Batman, Dark Knight Batman. It looks really good.
Yeah, it like I said, it's literally like looking at a 6-inch version of a hot toy. It's so detailed. The Christian Bale head, I was like blown away.
Yeah. I mean,
was
that
like,
looks.
how in the hell did they do that?
It almost looks photorealistic. Like that's a
Yeah,
really
it's
good.
crazy. That would be something like I think when they start doing more, I think that's something that people will catch on to if you're into imports and like superheroes because they have. I think they have a Joker coming out. I know they have a Superman coming out from Man of Steel. It might have been Justice League. So that'll be coming out. I think it's next year. But they're like literally like you're photocopying the real person. It's nuts.
No,
And a
those are
small scale.
insane likenesses. I don't know if you played Black Mist Wukong, but those are some of the other ones I'm seeing here on their page, and they look incredible.
Yeah, insane. So that's something I would look out for in the future. Just keep your eye on them to see how they do. Because the only way you can get them is you have to have them. You have to buy them through an import company. I guess you can't buy direct from them.
Oh,
yeah, but yeah, crazy. Like I was like, wow, this blows a freaking hot toy out of the water. And he's like, this is literally a 6-inch hot toy. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's pretty damn good.
I've never really gone down the hot toys road either. It's just not something I've ever cared too much for. It's like
once
it's funny because
buy one, you got to have more.
Apparently, but I don't know. Like I'm a firm believer in like 1/12 scale. Like it's the Lord's scale, right? Like that's the.
Yep.
If it's not 1/12, I don't do it, and that's why like I get a lot of questions on like do you the 3.75 inch like Star Wars figures? I'm like, no, I should probably like at some point I'll pick them up and Marvel ones, but I'm like, I don't want it, so why would I sell it?
Yeah.
I'm like, if it's not 1/12, I'm not touching it typically. I'll make some exceptions down the line, but that's why with hot toys, I'm just like, they're so big and expensive, and I don't personally care to have like this big expensive figure that looks exactly like the character. Like my goal is to have as many of something on like one area depicting a scene or having like this full cast right here. Like if it's hot toys, I can only have like 3 right here. Like it's a completely different thing. But yeah, I just never had the itch for those. But the people that get them love them. So I am good for them.
Yeah, like I said, I have one, and that's it. I was like,
what is it?
It's the Crow. Like I had a friend. I had a friend who knew I was selling off stuff to buy one on eBay, and randomly I got a package. I'm like, what the heck? And I like saw the box and it said the Crow, and I was like, what is this? And I opened it and it was like Marvel Legends. And I was like, oh, and I was like, who is this from? And then I look and I was like, oh, it's from JJ. I'm like, what the heck? I text him like, dude, why'd you just send me like a box of random Marvel Legends? He's like, oh, because I knew you were looking for them and you couldn't find them. And he's like, so enjoy them. And I was like, oh, cool, thanks, appreciate it. And he's like, did you get to the rest of it? I'm like, there's more. So I'm like looking through. I'm like, we talk about. He's like, there's a box. I'm like, yeah, see the box. I'm like, I thought it was just a box you put every stuff. He's like, no, open the rest of it. And it was the hot toy, brand new. And I just was like, what? I was like blown away. And I was like, I've never had anyone do something this nice. So this is crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I literally was like, dude, you made me cry, dude. Like this is nuts.
Is that it over your shoulder, by the way?
Oh no, it's actually in my house. I don't want it in my garage. Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's in
Oh,
my house. Yeah, because it's
gotcha.
real leather, and I'm like, everyone's you got to take care of it. You have to put leather conditioning on it. And I was like, oh, this is like having a child,
It's like a yeah,
but it's
a
awesome.
cheetah
And
pet
my
or
wife's
something, right?
yeah, my wife's like, why do I have a Brandon Lee staring at us? And I was like, because she's like, you buy this? I'm like, nope, someone gave it to
Get
me.
used to it.
She's like, what? Yeah, I'm like she sees all this. It got the mask and everything. So
Have you
yeah,
watched The Crow recently this Halloween season?
I watch it every year, every October.
Every October? Okay.
Yep.
It's
So
I
I will
always
be watching it when we're done. I've watched it every day this month so far.
every day. Oh
Every
man.
day.
Is it kind of like a busy time thing for you too? Do you just like turn it on and then do other things?
Yeah, because I'll be on my phone sometimes for like work, talking to my boss, texting random friends, Instagram messages I don't reply to that are because I'm too busy at work that I'll reply to. Um, Creating posts or whatever, plugging things, talking to just random people. I'll have it on. I've seen it so many times since it came out in 1994. I could tell you almost every line of that movie. But my wife's like, again. I'm like, yep, it's October. Every year that we've been together, I watch this every October.
Yeah. It's funny. It's similar to you in that because I'm like I call it. My wife, our running joke is like it's Shocktober time. So and I literally I'll watch like 3 to 4 horror movies every day. And well, now that I do this, it's like I watch a ton because I'll literally just step back here and package. I'll turn horror movies on here and just like watch anything. Like I mean, it's hard to find many horror movies I haven't seen, especially from like the '90s. I love
Right.
like '90s horror,
Heck yeah.
slashers. I finished? What did I finish earlier today? Well, I've been doing Creep Show. I've been watching the Creep Show stuff a lot recently
Oh,
too.
love those.
Yeah. Well, I saw Crow was up, and I was like, oh, I should turn Crow on because that's like a really good Halloween vibe type of movie.
Totally.
Love the vibes from that. But yeah, I was. I don't know if you follow my Instagram where we do a bunch of like the like new meta stuff where they like
Oh, yeah.
put teams together, and Bill helps me with all those. Because we're doing a '90s slasher theme for this net for tomorrow's, and so it got me pumped because like that's my only NECA stuff that I have are '90s slasher characters. So it's like Chucky, Nightmare on Elm Street. So like Jason, Freddy, Ghostface. We got Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So you got Leatherface. You got Michael Myers. And then I threw a Terminator in there and an Alien because Alien is probably like my crown jewel. Like the first Alien movie, I think is my top horror movie of all time.
Damn.
But yeah, a lot of that. Now I say that, but I watched Aliens, so I watched the second movie. That one I watched. It's kind of like that one's probably like The Crow in a way for me. I watch
Okay.
that ritualistically, like probably 2 to 3 times a year.
Dang.
Love that one. Not every day, but that's probably. I bet Aliens is my most viewed movie. Next, yeah, probably my most viewed movie of all time.
Yeah,
It's a
The
good
Crow
one.
would be my most viewed. This is the first time that I've watched it every day. Usually I watch it on Halloween. So for
Mm-hmm.
years I've watched it on Halloween, but this is the first year where I've watched it every day. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna watch this every day for the whole month, and then I don't have to really watch it again. But I know myself that I'll end up popping it on randomly in probably like a February or something and watch it because my wife's like, why do you watch this movie so much? She's like, we've been together what 15 years and I've never watched this movie. I'm like, you should sit down and watch it.
She's never watched.
No, she's like, no, I'm good. I'm like, oh, that's like
That's
me.
amazing.
She watches Labyrinth a lot, and I can't sit down and watch a movie. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
That's so funny. This may be a touchy subject, but how did you feel about the new Crow movie?
Not a touchy subject, actually. Like literally everyone was just like waiting for me to like do a review and stuff of it because I went and saw it. I came home that night and ended up getting food poisoning or the flu, and I was sick. And I was just like, well, this is interesting. I would say this. It's not The Crow. It's literally John Wick. I don't know. The story has nothing to do with what I read in the original comic book. So there's a weird thing for this movie. So that movie technically was supposed to be, or they shot it as a TV series, an 8-part miniseries. Paramount. Well, I was going to have it on Paramount Plus. I don't know whatever happened, but they ended up selling it out off to Lionsgate, and then they edited it into an actual movie. And I was like, okay, it's not like as terrible as what they're saying, because I was like, it's not bad. And then I bought it on 4K. I bought both steelbook versions because there are 2 different versions of it. So I bought them, watched it again at home, and I'm like, this is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Is it as bad as the sequels? Maybe not, but it's not that good. Skarsgård, great, but he is not an Eric Draven.
So if you had, I'm assuming the first Crow is obviously the crown jewel, I would imagine.
Oh yeah.
How would you rank the other 3 sequels to that? Which are there? How many total are there?
There's Crow, there's a City of Angels, Salvation, and Wicked Prayer. Wicked Prayer is the one with Eddie Furlong. By far one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. So terrible. It was straight to video. Salvation, I feel like it's the third one, has Kirsten Dunst in it. I feel like that one was a lot better than the second one, City of Angels.
Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, the second one, when I saw in the theater, I thought at the time, I was like, oh, this is good. And then watching it over the years, I'm like, this isn't that good. And then come to find out that the Weinstein guy literally kicked out whoever and edited himself and ruined the movie. So the comic book and the adaptation that I have, the book, is completely different than what I saw in theater.
Interesting.
So if they were to do it the way it was directed, I think it would be a better movie. But then again, I don't know. But the third one I feel like is a lot better. It's still cheesy, but yeah, The Crow, Branley, it's like the holy grail. You can't do another Crow movie. I swear, after they did this one, I'm like, just stop doing it at this point.
Yeah, it's funny how stellar the first one can be, and how it probably kind of hurt any potential sequels in the future. I mean, it doesn't help with because was it Bruce Lee's son, right? He passed after the movie or during the filming, right? But it's just like they were never. I mean, it's like cursed now. It's like you're never going to reproduce the majesty of like the first one. For me too, like with a lot of movies like that, the setting is as big a character as the rest of the movie. Like as the characters are, like the setting of the first movie is like one of my favorite like settings to a movie. Like the whole thing just felt so cool. I mean, I might rewatch that tonight when I'm packaging. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's weird. There's like I have a whole history with this movie and Branley in general. So when I was, I can't remember how old I was, either 10 or 12. So my uncle is a 10th degree black belt, well known in the martial arts community. He was friends with a lot of people, and when I think I stayed with him for a summer, and at his studio, this dude walks in, long hair. They're talking, and he introduces me to him. Don't put 2 and 2 together. And it was Brandon Lee, because my uncle told me afterwards. He came to talk to him for something. I can't remember what it was. Handed him posters for Rapid Fire, which I have the VHS behind here, and signed them, and we took pictures. And I didn't know, because I was used to him being short hair. I wasn't used to long hair. So he tells me after, and I was like, wait, what? He's like, that's Bruce Lee's son. I was like, wait, Brandon Lee from Showdown Over Tokyo? He's like, yes. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I was like, I didn't know. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. And that's the one thing I remember him saying. He's like, oh, I'm literally flying out to North Carolina to film this movie, The Crow. And that's all what I remember. And I was like, oh, I remember reading that comic book. It's like a comic book no kid at that age should read, but I remember reading it. And then the movie came out, and I was just like, what the heck? So, yeah, I met him, didn't even know. Had no idea. Crazy.
That's wild.
So ever since then, I grew up on Bruce Lee, so I love Bruce Lee. So ever since then, any movie that Brandon Lee did, I watched, even if they were terrible. And then The Crow happened. He died, and I was just like, oh, like I felt like a best friend died, even though I didn't really know him. I was just like, whoa, it's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. How old were you again when that happened?
Like, I'm trying to think when he. So in '94 the movie came out. It was in '93, I think, when he died. So I was graduating junior high. So
And you were reading the Crow comics.
yeah, I was reading I really read that comic when I first went to middle school because someone had it, and I was like, "What are you reading?" Because I was in like obviously it was in comic books, and he's like, "Oh, it's his comic book my brother has." Like he told me I couldn't read it, and I took it. So he like let me take it home, and I was just like blown away. I was like, "What? This isn't like anything like Spider-Man."
Yeah,
And yeah, no kid should
not
read
quite.
that. No. So ever since then, I just liked the art, and then the movie came out, and then all that, and I was just like, it just didn't ingrained in me now. Like, that's my favorite movie.
Yeah, kind of triggers that feeling in you that like just makes it feel almost homey in a way.
Yeah, and everyone's just like, I don't get your obsession with this movie. Like, it's not that good. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's not that good. Like, have you watched it?
See, that's funny. That's how like horror stuff in general kind of makes me feel like it almost takes me back to my childhood because I watched way too many scary movies as a kid. And so like especially the 90s ones. Something about campy, cheesy settings, like cheesy villains, like Freddy dropping all the one-liners and like the way they shot him with the practical effects, like all that stuff. That's why I can't do horror movies that don't have practical effects very well. Like they don't, they're still good. There's a lot of good ones, but you can never recreate the feeling of something about the practical effects and the settings of like stuff that happened in the early 2000s, 90s, 80s even. Because it's Alien would obviously be in the 80s and the 70s actually. But yeah, it's just hard to recreate that stuff. That's why I'm like, the new Ghostbusters, like I love, but the first Ghostbusters movie, like the effects in that, I still like are the ones that like scared the absolute shit out of me as a kid. Because that was like one of the first, quote unquote scary movies I ever watched, right? And I'll just never forget. And I'm like, you just can't recreate it. I think kids are missing out now on like how scary that stuff was when we were.
Oh yeah.
You didn't know any different, and it hit different now. There's so many effects going on these days that it's never gonna be the same again. But
yeah, that's like the one thing. Like my wife and I, we were like, okay, when we have kids, we're gonna have them watch all the movies that we watched when we were kids. So my kids grew up on all the '80s stuff that we grew up on. My son is not a horror fan at all. The first horror film he ever seen was like Scream, one of the newer ones. So that's like his horror type thing. I'm like, whatever. But he just won't watch horror movies.
It's a shame. You're missing out, man.
That's what I tell him. I'm like, you just wait till you get older, then you'll understand what we're trying to tell you to watch.
My son, who's 9, he watched the first Ghostbusters movie the other day and loved it. And I was a little worried because I'm like, be honest, like there's a couple scenes in that movie that still, like, scare me like a little bit. Like the initial scene with the librarian, I mean, that absolutely floored me as a child. And then those stupid like monster dogs always scared the crap out of me. How they just like kind of, it's in the closet, she opens the door, like the imagery and the scenes in it, like that. It's a PG movie, which is crazy to me. Like it was, right? As of then PG. I'm like, there's no way that flies as PG these days. Especially some of the scenes there with the floating half naked gal above the bed and all that with Sigourney Weaver. But yeah, it's I'm glad he's into that because I'm like, I'll try to drag him into some, but I'm sure my wife would be very disappointed. She doesn't know the extent of like how graphic the horror movies are that I watch sometimes. So I don't think she'd be okay with some of it. But
yeah, that's like I know when Terrifier 2 came out, there was like the hype about people getting sick and having ambulance come, whatever. So that was the first Terrifier I ever watched. I was just
the second one?
Yeah, because I didn't even heard of it until the second one. People were like, you haven't seen the first one? I'm like, no. I was like, this is the first time I ever heard of it because of these freaking articles. So I watched the second one. And then I think I watched it in our bedroom because I was like, yeah, I've heard this is pretty bad. I watched it and I was just like, okay, so this is just gore porn at this point.
Yeah.
Then I watched the first one and I'm like, wow, this is insane. Haven't watched the third one, have no desire now.
So
But
I'm
yeah,
with you. I did not know what I was walking into with the Terrifier, and I watched
yeah,
the first one, and I actually didn't think too much of it, but I'm like, those are some wild death scenes.
yeah,
And then I found out, like, through social media that, like, that's its thing. Like, they're trying to be, like, almost more Saw, like, worse than Saw. Like, they want to do the things
yeah.
that are going to make you want to vomit. And I'm not about that. Like, I don't care for the torture stuff as much. So I'm like, I'll never finish the Terrifier stuff, but people love it. Like,
Oh,
the
love
Art
it.
the Clown is like one of the most popular horror villains, like, on the market right now. Maybe the most popular. Which surprises me, because to me that's not like, it's horror. I don't want to say it's not horror, but like, I appreciate, like, not necessarily jump scares, but like, I'm more into like supernatural, like, stuff that, I don't know, makes you like psychologically like feel more afraid. That's just like, I don't want to watch it
Right,
because it's gross.
right, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't mind gore. I love gore in movies, but when it's the main thing in the movie, it kind of loses me a bit. Because then it's just
Mhm.
like they're trying to up the scale, because that's what it becomes.
Right.
Like, let's just climb the ladder. But it's all
That's
fun
kind
at
of
the
what I
end of
heard
the
with
day.
the third one because I've heard about a kill scene in that, and I'm like, yeah, I don't need to see that. I'm good. Like the second one pretty much was enough.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You got your fill of the Terrifier with
Yeah,
one of them. I've only seen the first one. I've never watched the others. I've read through the plot lines of them though, because it's actually a decent plot line. Like,
yeah,
people may not realize that, but there is a story in the movies, and the story is not like, there's a, we're like kind of this kind of good versus evil storyline with like the main girl being like an angel kind of, and anyways, I'm like, it's a good storyline. It's too bad I'm never going to watch it to see how it kind of comes. I'll read about it.
Well, if you decide to watch the second one, just be prepared. Don't have any food near you. It's pretty
Yeah,
bad.
thanks.
Like,
I think I
yeah,
will.
I was
Yeah,
watching it and my daughter walked by and I was like, nope, go to your room. Do not walk in here. Please do not come in here.
under no circumstances.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
no,
my
I'll stick
daughters.
to. Huh?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'll stick to my '90s slashers for now. Like, that's,
Yeah.
I'll just cruise through all the horrible Jason movies and call it good on watching Terrifier 2 or 3.
Yeah, my daughter's first horror movie that she watched was It, the newer one. I thought she was gonna be freaked out, and she loves horror movies. Like my wife
Nice.
and her go to almost every horror movie that they can, and I'll go with them. But that's like their thing.
Mhm.
And I would say the last two that I enjoyed that made me think more of like the aesthetic and how it felt was '90s was Heart Eyes and Thanksgiving. Those to me brought back '90s vibes. I'm all, this is what we need right here.
Yeah,
Perfect. Like everything was great about it.
those ones are great. Hard Eyes I watched as I was actually building all the shelving in this room, so I'm sure I missed bits and pieces of it, because that's kind of what I do. I can't sit down and watch something all the way through now. I'm always like doing stuff. That one's great. Thanksgiving was awesome. It was
Yes.
just like stupid, tongue in cheek, campy film like that. People don't realize, like, that's the good stuff. Like, that's what we need. That's what makes America great.
Yeah.
Stupid horror movies like that. Um,
It's funny because my wife's like, because we saw, I'm trying to think, did we all? So it was me, my wife, my daughter. I think her friend were with us. So we're like afterwards, we're just like, dude, that was crazy. Those remind me of the '90s. And my daughter was like, I really like these. I need to watch like what's something else we should watch. Like, oh, we should just sit down and watch these. And she likes all the stuff from the '90s. It makes me feel good.
yeah, and then there's a type. What was another one? It was a killer clown in a cornfield or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That
I
one
need to watch
was
that still.
Not as good as the other ones you mentioned, but kind of same 90s style vibes. But one, probably my favorite movie of the year, and I struggle to call it just horror, but it's technically what it'll be, is have you seen Sinners?
Oh, probably my favorite movie the whole year.
Yeah. I think it should win the Oscar. I mean, that movie
Oh, me too.
was amazing. And I know that it's like people will kind of complain on like it's not really like super horror, like it doesn't trigger everything, but I don't care. Like it was I heard somebody describe it as an experience, and that's definitely what it was.
Totally agree with that. Yeah, I went and saw that by myself because no one wanted. My wife didn't want to see it. She just like was like, "Oh, you're gonna go too late. I have to get up early to work." So I just went, and I remember getting out like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, "Holy crap! I need to see this again." I saw it the next day, and exactly the second time I watched it. I'm like, "This is an experience. You have to see this on the biggest screen you can watch it on." And then the moment that it came available for, I think the Steelbook came up, I literally ordered it because I knew it would sell out. It literally sold out so fast.
Oh wow. Yeah. That my wife gives me every year, she doesn't like horror movies, but she says every year on Halloween I can pick one horror movie out to watch with her. She has to approve it. And so I spend a lot of time like thinking through, and she commits to me like I will not fall asleep because she falls asleep within like 30 seconds usually whenever I turn on a movie. So she's like, it's that one movie that she commits to like watching with me beginning to end. And I'm like, I'm trying to figure out which one I want her to watch with me this year. So like Sinners feels like a good, because I'm like, I think she would like that. It's not too grotesque or, I mean, there's some scenes, but it's like a good like mixture of like music and plot, and like you've got kind of all the dramatic like dynamics between the family members and the brothers and all that. I'm like, that will probably be one up there. I'm spitballing Alien Romulus with her because I love Alien. I loved Alien Romulus.
So did I. That was a shock actually for me. I did not expect that movie to be that good.
Yeah, I was so happy, and I liked the show quite a bit. It lost me a little in the last couple episodes, but I thought the show was really good. Alien Earth. So I'm very optimistic. Yeah, I'm very optimistic with all the Alien stuff, which is that's my favorite. And you got Predator Badlands coming out, which I don't know. I think it'll be good just because they're doing a lot of good stuff right now. But it's a unique angle to take, and it's a lot of CGI, so we'll see.
Yeah, and if they're connecting that with Alien Romulus, I heard, so that's why I want to see it. Yeah, that's why I want to see it.
I've heard they're moving towards the expanded universe, which is like what I've been begging for ever since they made it was AVP2, the video game that was on PC. I'm like, ever since then I've been hooked. So I'm like, make the universe happen, please. And then they came out with Prometheus, which was good. I liked it a lot. And then the next two movies, has there been two? Right, you had Alien, Prometheus. No, it's just the other one, the next one after that. Hated it. Couldn't stand that movie at all.
Yeah, I hated that one.
What was it called? Covenant? Yeah, Covenant. Hated Covenant.
Yeah. Just
kind of spat in the face of alien lore. And then, but Romulus was like, ooh, yeah, we're back to the roots. I like this. So I'm optimistic. Anyways, that's, talking horror, toy podcast. But it is the season.
Yeah, it's October. I mean, you have to bring up horror at some point. And that's funny because I was going to ask you about something horror related, but it's good that we got into this, which is good. So, NECA, you have NECA. Do you have the Terrifier on the website?
Probably on pre-order. Let me check. I don't have a ton of NECA right now. And they're another one that's kind of tough to carry because it's limited access to things. I don't work with them directly. It's my distributors, but I've heard NECA is really tough to work with and get stuff from. That may be part of it. So I get what I can. I've tried to keep, so I've got some NECA stuff in stock, but mostly it's on pre-order. And there's long, like back order, pre-order waiting periods because they're not super timely in getting stuff out.
Sure.
but I'm not going to like quit on NECA if they're tough. Like I still sell some of it. It's not a lot. But it's one of those things I like. I mean, what I have gotten in has sold out relatively easy, but let's see. I don't think there's a Terrifier up here. Yeah, I'm looking through. I've only got 2 pages of stuff, so not a ton of products. Compared to like everything else. And I don't even know if I have access to a Terrifier from NECA. Does not appear that they have anything that I can get my hands on, but I would if I could. Yeah, they're just tricky. They're different than Hasbro and Mattel, so it's a little harder to stay up to date with their stuff.
Right.
But what I do get from them usually sells pretty well. It's just not a lot. It's more expensive price points. I will say one of my most popular lines that I've ever sold, I'm about sold out, is the NECA did the Nightmare Before Christmas figures.
Oh, yeah.
Those were really popular. I sold out of those. I mean, Sally, I couldn't keep in stock. She was gone. And then I just have the mayor left. I've got about 6 or 7 of him, and I got like 20 cases of those. So those sold really well. Everything else just kind of, ebbs and flows depending on the season. But there hasn't been a huge uptick since, even though it's Halloween. I would have thought there would have been more sales on horse stuff. But I think part of it is that everything that I have, you can also just go to Target and get. So I don't think people need me all the time to fill their NECA void. So we'll see. That'll be an interesting line to watch with new meta over the course of the next year.
Yeah. So I guess this is going to be my last question for you. So the one thing I have noticed between new meta and like online retailers, Amazon, Entertainment Earth, Big Bad, like whoever else, for instance, so the new Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure wave that just got announced, that's on pre-order right now. So you have yours listed at $27.99, and I've seen Amazon put theirs at $30. Entertainment Earth was at $30, dropped them to $27.99. And now that you have the new mini comic wave, I think at $24. Is that right? $24.99? Maybe I'm wrong.
No, that sounds too low.
27.
I should know this all by heart, but I totally don't. So many different price points. I think those are 27 too. Let me see.
Yeah, I think they are. I think you have that 27.
Yeah. I got my page up here. So, the Build-A-Figure wave $27.99, mini comics $27.99 as well. Okay. Yeah.
And then, so I think the one thing that I noticed was Maximum Deadpool, you had at $50. Everyone raised their price to $61. So why is it that you're keeping the figures at those listed prices when everyone else is going up to $30?
I am very, for one, like right now, to me, I'm not trying to make money. Like that's bullshit. I'm definitely trying to make money, but I'm not really focused on profit at the moment, and I don't really think I ever should be. I view my purpose as like trying to connect collectors to the figures that they want. And that if I stay principled and like use that as like kind of my guiding, like my North Star, that like the business will come, people will build loyalty towards me because they know that I'm not trying to like screw them over. Because it would have been the easiest thing in the world, seriously, the easiest thing in the world to bump Deadpool up $10, $11, whatever it was, and be justified in that. But I know the price point I got him at, and that would be way over the margin that I'm like, usually I'm shooting for like 20 to 25% margin. That'd have been a much bigger margin, but I didn't have to have it. And I know people are kind of irritated by like those prices going up, but I don't want to be that guy. I want to stay true to what the prices should be. And I think, I make mistakes. I get orders wrong occasionally. Like I don't get stuff in as fast as I can. But if I can look at people and say, like, at the end of the day, I am never going to try to screw you intentionally, or I'm not trying to make more money off of you than I have to. I think a lot of people, especially collectors, like we care about that stuff a lot. We do not like to feel like the big companies are trying to like nickel and dime us. I mean, figures are already expensive. I remember when I started, they were like, what, $20 almost.
Yeah, $20.
And so it's crazy that it's gotten to this point. But, you know, I've accepted the fact that like I'm not going to make a ton of money this year, just like profit wise. I no plans to. And so I'm like, I'll eat the cost if I have to on certain figures to keep them where I can. And a lot of times it's not even eating costs. It's just selling them for what they should be at. So I don't know. I think more retailers should act with that type of principle. It really makes me mad when I see like big box stores do that because they totally don't have to. And I'm still blown away. I'm like, what price point did they get these things at? Because I'm like, surely mine is not far off from what they got it from from a wholesale standpoint. So I'm like, why are they just arbitrarily bumping it $10? Unless maybe it did go up and I just lucked out. I don't know. But that figure, I mean, where is it? This should not be $61. That's insane.
No. Nope.
So if they're just kind of, you know, taking advantage of scarcity, I don't know, I think that's kind of bogus. But anyways, that's, I mean, a long way of saying it, but yeah, I just don't think it's right, personally. So, I try to, if anybody ever sees a price on my website that's like off or they think it's too expensive, nobody's ever said it to me yet, but I would immediately lower it. Like, I don't want to ever be pegged as somebody, which is also like, I get some videos I put on Instagram, I get this where they're like, oh, you're a scalper. And I'm like, to hell I am. Like, it's like the ultimate offensive thing to say to me, in part because it's like, you obviously have not looked at my website. I'm like the world's worst scalper.
It's funny. I was talking to a friend last night, and I can't remember, we were talking about something. He was talking about how he was going to buy Maxim Deadpool, and I was like, oh, you should buy it from here. I was like, here's the website, go to Meta. If you want, you can use the discount code. And he's like, wait, this is $50 here? He's like, why is everyone else $61? I'm like, I don't know. But if you want to get it, this is where you get it. And he's like, I'm gonna have to order this. I'm like, yeah, you should order it, because to me, the $50 price point, I was kind of like, I don't know, do I need a Deadpool at $50? And then when I got it and opened it, and I was like, okay, this is worth $50 to me.
That's the thing too. People are already rolling their eyes at $50, and so you bump it to 61. It's like, I don't like. First off, nobody's gonna buy it from me at that point either. So, I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe there's something I'm missing in the market. Like something happened with maybe I ordered them early enough to like miss some bump, but it's not a $60 figure. So I don't get it. Maybe
that's the thing. Is like when I go into GameStop now, I literally cancel my Pro membership. And I'm all, this $5 is pointless. It's literally what I could buy it for at Target for $25.
Mm-hmm.
So all the figures now are all $30. All the Hasbro stuff is $30. McFarlane's $28. Mm-hmm. I'm like, no, I'm done. Can't buy from here anymore. Like, I'm surprised I even bought this Batman Returns Penguin and Duck. $100. It's the only way you can get it. To me, to my honest opinion, this is not worth $100. This should have been $60. That's just me.
Oh, 100%.
Some people may be like, oh, it's worth $100. Like, I don't think this is $100 right here. This is easily a $60 vehicle and a figure. But, you know, whatever. It is what it is. They do what they do, and I'm sure that's something that they had to negotiate with GameStop to make it exclusive there. I don't know. But, yes, it's not worth $100. I don't know.
That's the one I've got that's like that right now, which, don't get me wrong, I love this thing, but the Daredevil cowl, this is $140, and you get the sticks, don't get me wrong, but let's see, here we go. Right. The price point for this is just insanely high right now. I don't know, maybe I'm overpriced, but I'm like, I've got it listed. Huh?
It looks good.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's my favorite. I do collect some of the props, and so I've got a lot of the helmets back here. I got Captain America shield. and I'm a Daredevil is like one of my top 3 or 4 favorite heroes of all time. So I'm like, I have to get it. And I'm the original Netflix Daredevil series, one of my favorites. Right, loved it. So I'm like, 100%, I'm going to get that. But I'm like, it's $140 listing price for that, and
crazy. It's
just so high. I didn't get a ton of them too because I knew when I saw the price point, I'm like, I'll carry it, but I'm like, yeah, that's right, because I'm looking at the prices I got it for. But it's just like nobody's gonna buy this for $140. I mean, I know you get the sticks, but and the little stand that they threw in. But I mean, in my mind, these are like $100, not $140. So
yeah, I can see that.
But Hasbro, we'll buy whatever they give us, no matter what. Typically, so we always complain and then throw more wallets.
Oh yeah, all the time.
These are cool things.
So I know I said that was my last question, but this is the last thing that I ask you. So what makes you different from every other independent small business that sells toys?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think there's a couple of things that I would say I am trying to be different at or trying to be better at than everybody else. I'm working my hardest to be a part of the social media community as much as I can, like a member of it, a voice in it, a friend to those. I mean, like I've connected with you a number of times and a lot of others. There's Strong Collectors and there's a couple other podcasts I've done time with. And I think that like I've kind of wanted my identity to be more like in the social media realm and do fun stuff and create content. Like you'll see the content I create and it's not necessarily like selling products all the time. Like I've got a guy I work with who just does fun stuff. Like we'll rank the top big figures of the year, some of which I don't even carry. Like a lot of the stuff I show off, I don't even carry or never will carry because they're like exclusives and things like that. So I think that's kind of the first thing I'd say is different is just our approach with socials and interaction, because I interact with people constantly. Like, and that'd probably be this. Leading into the second thing I'd say I hope is different with our store versus a lot of the others is our like just customer focus. I mean, I've said I make mistakes sometimes. Orders get wrong. I refund people's stuff constantly if orders are like wrong. I communicate almost in the moment with people when they reach out to me. I try to be as friendly as I can because I think coming from the perspective of a customer, there are some companies, there's some places I bought figures from where they get something wrong. They send me like 1 when I ordered 2, and I never hear from them again when I reach out, or they just don't like reach out or say anything at all once I send them an email trying to get something fixed. And so I try to be, there might be some people that listen to this that like have bought stuff from me and maybe have emailed me on the side, whether it's just like updates on orders or anything. I try to be as direct and like honest with people as possible. So I think that customer focus and then that mixture with like the community and social media approach, that's what I would say separates me. That may not be true for like all my competitors, because I know there's a couple out there that do some of the same stuff I do, but I don't think quite as well as I do. If I'm being completely honest. But I said there's a lot of toy stores out there, and they're all good at different things. And actually, I try to connect with a lot of those toy stores too. So I've reached out to a number of them, and like let's it's like we're kind of we're working against each other a little bit, but there's no reason why we can't just like kind of share insights and support at times. Like, there's somebody another store commented on one of my posts today about Juggernaut, because I think I was telling you how long that guy took to come in. Yeah. And he's like, oh my gosh, we're not getting ours till Monday. And I'm like, yes, so you get it. Like, all I've been doing is answering emails on this freaking guy. So that's kind of what I would say. Maybe other places would say it, but I think that's kind of what makes us different.
I think that everything you said is pretty much on the nose. The one thing I do tell people, like I have a friend, he has a YouTube channel. The man collects. His name's Chris. So he was like, I'm gonna try them out. And he like texted me. He's like, dude, you were right. Like everything's packed well, nothing came damaged. And I was like, so how I described it was he is a collector that understands how things should be packed and shipped. And he was just like, all I had to say was that, and he started ordering. And then he's been super happy ever since then. So, not saying he doesn't order from Big Bad and stuff like that, but
Oh, dude,
he was
yeah.
less likely ordering from Big Bad when he's like, oh, I could just get it from him, and I can use discount code. I'll save some money, and I'll still get it pretty fast. I was like, oh, well, yeah, whatever, however you want to think about it. You don't have to use the code. I don't care. I just want to support because that's me in general. That's just how I am. If you're good to me, I will be good to you. I don't need anything. I'd rather just support someone that actually cares about the community, how you do your business. That's what matters most to me. And you have done everything in my book right now, and I think you will forever. Right. You are very quick to respond. You shipped out stuff like pretty fast. I was like shocked. I was like, wow, that was fast. And yeah, you're just overall like really, really nice. You communicate. I communicate with Dakota, and then he will like ask me questions, and we'll bounce ideas off each other. And then that's literally it. And I was just like, yeah, this is a good relationship and friendship that I would like to keep forever. So thank you for having me be a part of your journey.
Hey, I appreciate all that you just said. Now, yeah, I feel like it's funny. I'm glad that we're finally talking because I feel like I've gotten to know you over the past few months. Like I see your code come through all the time, and you know messages when I get like new pre-orders coming out. So I feel like you're like part of this like weird like little extended family I've got online with folks. So it is shared both ways, and I appreciate it. And yeah, and I always tell people you don't have to buy everything from me. Like there's people that like you can carry this or that. I'm like, no, I'm not. And like also, no, I never get offended if it's like you need to buy something from Big Bad because they got a better price, or you know you can get it quicker because I can't get it out on the same time they can. I'm never offended. So, but you know, I still I still order quite a bit from Big Bad. So yeah, you know,
Hey,
I don't expect everybody to just come to me. But yeah, I appreciate all that. And yeah, I'm sure we'll have more conversations like this in the future. I know we went a lot longer than intended, but man,
yeah.
I'm sure you and I we have a lot in common, so we can just keep going
Oh yeah,
and
we
going.
do. Yeah, but yeah, no. Like when I tell you, like I really mean that, and that's something I discussed with Dakota. I was like, dude, like this is not like what I'm used to. I guess like obviously I had an affiliation with Entertainment Earth, and it's just like I was talking to a new person all the time, and I was like, this is so dumb. Like I don't want to do this anymore. Like I'm not getting anything in return because I for one I don't really care. People use my code, they do, they don't, whatever. I get a percentage, whatever. It didn't matter. Wasn't making a lot of money. The downside, and this is for anyone that wants to do an affiliation, they let everybody do Entertainment Earth, and it's like overkill. So everyone uses the same, or posts the same thing, and it's like their own code, and it's like I don't really care. I'm like, this is pointless. So when Dakota came to me about this, I was like, yeah, I'm down. I don't want to do Entertainment Earth anymore. I have Amazon, so it's not a big deal. Like I post it whenever. But my thing was I want to support someone small that's gonna keep it the way they want to keep it. And so far everything's been fine. I think you're doing a great job. And you keep rolling this way, you're gonna get more and more fans and people to your Instagram. And once you go to like Comic-Con and stuff like that, and you have your merch, people are going to know you. And then that's the best part of all this is, like I said, I went to Comic-Con, had no idea that the jaded people knew who I was. And I was just like, wow, this is crazy. So it all doesn't take very long that people will get this out, and people that follow me and the strong collectors and everyone else, they're going to go on the journey just like my friend the man collects. He is on the train. So you're doing a great job, and I appreciate you so much for everything you're doing right now, and you're killing it, and I'm proud of you. So let's head into 2026 kicking some ass.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. Yeah. Tell the man collects. I follow him on on Instagram too. So he knows about me. Awesome.
Yep.
I want to reach out
He's
sometime.
a good dude. Yeah, I told him, I was like, hey, I'm doing this thing. You should just reach out to him. He's like, I don't know. He's kind of, not to say weird about it, but he just like, he isn't sure. I was like, dude, you started way after me and you blew up so fast. You should totally like talk to him.
It's funny.
So
there's a number of creators that like buy stuff from me, but I don't know them by their actual names. So it's like I send them, then I'll see them like, oh, look what I got in from New Meta. I'm like, that was you? Like, oh, look at that.
That's funny.
I appreciate the time, man. This has been great.
The man collects today actually tagged me, and I have a feeling it's because he ordered something from New Meta, actually. Because the only time he tags me in his videos is when he orders something. So I'm going to watch that tonight after I watch The Crow. And I'm like, yes, I had a feeling. So there you go.
All right. Well, we should do this again sometime. I appreciate you having me on.
Yep. We definitely will. Yeah, it's been really fun. Appreciate you. And yeah, we'll talk soon. And yeah, that's it. There'll be more T3 Connects with someone else, hopefully in the next few weeks. This has been a long time coming. We've been talking about this for a while. I've been busy. I know he's been busy. So this is a good time to do this. So hope you guys enjoy this podcast and getting to know David and all about New Meta. Go to gonewmeta.com and order from the website. You can use T3 Collects 101 or Strong Collectors 101 to get 10% off. All that jazz. So go support David and go New Meta. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you guys next time.
Awesome.